Good morning, guys. A minute here. How's it going? All right. So, um, I I'm a little under the weather. I apologize if I start coughing. I'll try to grab a cough drop. But we have some things. I want to just like talk to you guys a little bit of today. As you guys know, I try to stay informed and I try to be informed on current events, the current political situation, because I think that more people need to be more informed and need to have reliable sources to inform themselves. And I think it's important to remind people how to do that, and also, be real with people when things aren't, like when there's a source that's not, or something like that. And because like that source is obviously going to feel pressured to defend themselves, and so we have to remember that like just be a little bit understanding of that. They're going to defend themselves a little bit, just like any media outlet will. So then it falls on individual, like people, like a lot of people, we see these lists and stuff of a lot of people actually listen to Joe Rogan, or something like that, where we find that people are listening to people that are doing podcasts and stuff like that, sort of versus like news reports and stuff like that. And it's understandable, because what we have with this is we have a situation where a lot of times they are talking about the news reports, they are comparing things, they are being a little bit more realistic than some of the other sources are, and things like that. So with that being said, a couple of things, maybe get into a little bit with you guys today. One of those things being that, so apparently, there have been secret Chinese police stations in the United States. And I gotta be honest with you. If there's somebody out there with the ability to use trackers and collect data and stuff like that in the United States, and like do things they shouldn't be doing on our ground and stuff with our internet, like how are these people getting the data? How it's restricted, yada yada, encrypted, out the wazoo. How are they doing this? Well, you infiltrate from within, and so this is what we're seeing is these reports were coming in like 2 years ago, and nobody's talking about them. And this is what I notice when new administrations come in. Like Biden didn't talk about it really either, as far as I know. But like, neither is this one either. And so this is concerning to me. I'm actually concerned about this. This was a year ago. Let's talk about this. Let's watch this really quick. Let's talk about this. This was literally a year ago. 1 year ago. I'm not just like saying this. Like, we're talking about real news reports, and we're gonna hear right from this News Nation report right here. So give me a second.
The threat of Chinese operations inside the U.S. is becoming more clear by the hour. Only days after the DOJ announced arrests connected to a secret Chinese police station in New York, we are learning there could be more. Similar offices have been reported across North America, some in the heart of our country, most in communities with critics of the Chinese Communist Party. Correspondent Evan Lambert is live. Evan, we're learning more
Like a
about
ramen
where
place to
these
me.
have been located and how aggressive China is becoming.
Is that a ramen place they were showing a picture of?
Nicole, this is pretty alarming. Senior FBI intelligence officials telling News Nation today that they see these reports of secret Chinese police stations and Chinese tactics to intimidate dissidents as really reaching an inflection point. They say that lines are being crossed that haven't been crossed before, and that authoritarian countries like China and Iran are using new tactics like hiring private investigators to stalk people, even planning to kidnap people that they want to silence. So just this week, federal investigators in New York announcing the arrest of 2 U.S. residents accused of secretly working with the PRC to operate a Chinese police station in Manhattan. Now a Spanish-based human rights group, Safeguard Defenders, says there are more than 100 of these Chinese outposts in 53 countries across the globe. Here in the U.S., the group saying China has opened the police stations. Think of them more like spy offices in L.A., San Francisco.
Okay, let me just stop it there for a second. Anytime you have this, you have people in the United States basically committing treason. Basically, like this is what you have to realize is like there are people in the United States, maybe even as he's stating, federal investigators, actually working with the Chinese government to create police stations to try to police citizens. And here's a map right here of where, like, essentially location unknown, but like we know of this sort of thing. But then like these are the ones we know about. And that's what's crazy. So let me just summarize very quickly. If there is one person or entity that would keep information, and as a streamer or somebody says on a stream multiple times throughout the course of years, this is a glitch, it irritates me, I want it fixed, I promise you, this type of entity will keep notes, they will make those glitches happen, they will intercept whatever you're trying to do, they will, trust me. This is like, essentially, this is what you're talking about, is this is the most aggressive type of that thing, that scam baiters stop and stuff like that, except happening here. This is a police, they're doing this to pretend they're a police station. And think about what they could actually do while accessing police networks when they're a police station. Do you understand how like anybody that's police that would be watching, they would instantly understand why this is dangerous and why the hell isn't anybody talking about this? Politicians aren't talking about this. What the F? What? I genuinely think there's a lot of police around there that don't know about this, and that aren't informed about this. And again, nobody's talking about this. This is from a year ago. Who's talking about it? And it's almost like we're trying to distract from it. I didn't hear about anybody putting a stop to this. I didn't hear any. I heard Biden, I think, mention something about this briefly, but again, who could ever understand anything he ever says? So, like, this is my point, is like, I was also realizing some of the things people were saying about Biden and stuff like that, but at the same time, now, can we do stuff, please? Can we do something about this? That's all I'm saying. Like that, what? You see? Do you know what I'm saying, guys? Like this is pretty bad. All right, sorry. I wanted to stop there. Let me keep going. I apologize, but like, yeah. If there's one entity that can do all that and keep tabs on it and stuff like that, they got your info, man.
Francisco, Houston, undisclosed cities in Nebraska and Minnesota, and New York City. The one connected to this week's charges closed after the FBI started investigating last year. So FBI officials would not confirm the existence of others of these police stations here in the U.S.
Of course they wouldn't.
They can't comment on ongoing investigations.
And
they
that's
do say that one in New York that was operating in New York had a very specific goal, and that was to intimidate China's opponents here in the U.S. So
Why are we seeing a ramen place? I don't understand that. They're showing clips of a fucking ramen place. Yeah, that's understandable. Like, this is the... Don't... Like, when you guys get upset that the FBI doesn't want to tell you anything, stop. Stop. Don't get upset at that. That means they're doing something. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear them be like, well, we can't comment. You know, that's a good thing. That means, okay, they're doing something. But I want to hear some reassurance. I want to hear that they're given the funding they need. This is the problem. The FBI might be looking into this, but maybe they look into it and they hit a wall. And then some senator blocks what they're doing or something like that, and they're like, why are you doing this? Why are you blocking what we're doing? That's weird. And then you find out that that's where the dead end lies, with some fucking corrupt senator, and he's blocking them, but again, they can't override a senator or something like that. This is what you start realizing about certain politicians and why they're corrupt. And they realize it too, and it makes them corrupt. This is how federal investigators get corrupt. They just see the corruption, they go, no, screw you. Alright, I'm all in now. Yeah, and then they want to defect and do... Because of how bad our politicians are. And, like, these are elected officials, man. So, like, you could do something about it. You just start electing different people and paying attention to that. But my point is, don't get upset when the feds want to keep something from you necessarily. It usually means they're actually looking into it.
some people living right by the one in Manhattan say they had no idea that it was operating, but frankly, they are not surprised.
No, I wasn't particularly surprised. Nothing really surprised me. People do keep tabs on dissidents, whether through a nonprofit organization or whether through operatives in the field or something. A lot of countries do that. I think they may be aware all along. Let's say if you're a high-profile dissident and you make your way to the United States gave you sanctuary, or offer you asylum and all that, you would be aware that you would be followed. It's a stupid man who wouldn't look out for being followed or something.
And Nicole, we obviously have to take this with a grain of salt. China's foreign ministry is saying that these are not police stations.
Oh boy, that was whoo, that was a big boo-boo for that guy. Oh, Chinese is oh. Oh my god. Oh man, that's awful. That was a big boo-boo for that guy.
Saying that these are not police stations, that they are for people to use for things like renewing their driver's licenses. Nicole?
Oh.
Ministry is saying that these are not police stations, that they are for people to use for things like renewing their driver's.
Oh, I want to hear him say it again.
And Nicole, we obviously have to take this with a grain of salt. China's foreign ministry is saying that these are not police stations, that they are for people to use for things like renewing their driver's licenses. Nicole?
Okay, Evan, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
Oh my god, that was such a funny screw up. That's like a blooper reel right there. That was so funny. Hopefully they can all laugh about it now. Yeah, informative, good video. Who's this guy? New York City community activist Carlin Chan. Sounds familiar. I don't. What is this? Why are we seeing? Like, what is this? Is this like the top floors where it was or something? Like, they keep showing this thing that looks like a ramen place. I mean, I guess the whole thing isn't. So yeah, maybe like the top floor. It's literally said ramen on the side. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah. So there it is. And there could be several secret Chinese police stations around the world. Since you forgot to put a verb in your title, I recommend changing it to there are many secret. That's me. That's me. I probably would have left that comment. How do you know I left it? There could several secret Chinese police stations. That's funny. Yeah. Missing verb may have been intentional. Yeah, they verb. Somebody doesn't know what a verb is. A verb's an action word, buddy. Private 1865. There could be the word be. Oh, sense of being. Be. Yeah, alright, in that sense. Okay, I guess the context, yeah, alright. No, but it's describing the noun. It's an adverb, right? Could be. I'd have to look that one up. That one is interesting. It's not a verb, though, I don't think. I could be wrong. Am I wrong? You can tell me if I'm wrong this one. Okay. I don't think it's a verb, though. Alright, so let's look at some of these. They are all over 50 countries, if not more. It sounds like some of these people know, like, kind of know, you know, like they're from other countries or whatever. What is being done about it? WTF. Minnesota. Duh, this is not new. Why you calling the police? Call them spies, for goodness sake. I like that. I like that. That's a good comment. Where was that? I shouldn't have scrolled past. That's a really good comment. Thank you. This is like #1 comment. Why are you calling them police? Call them spies, for goodness sake. Thank you. Good job for pointing that out. That's actually a really good point. Why are they doing that? Even I didn't pick up on that. Yeah. Spy stations. Yeah. Don't get the algorithm to think that's police. Yeah, that could actually cause a real problem. Yeah. Good eye. For sure. Yeah, I mean, like, they're just using data and stuff, like, you know what I mean? This only... Wow. Because that's the point. The more you report this stuff and talk about it, the worse it gets, because that's the way AI works. You guys know that, right? So, you know, like, if you don't know that much, like, you know, like, just to heads up that's how it works. Like, essentially, the AI all at once, artificial intelligence, it just wants information. It wants more information. That's how it functions. So the more you give it, the better it does. So China has this AI where they've let it go, essentially. They don't have restrictions. China doesn't. We do. That's the point. This is what you're going to start to realize, is that, like, we impose restrictions because we realized at a certain point we were damaging the world and we were causing problems. And we were already past the point at which we should have done those things. So many other countries don't do this and just keep damaging the world. I heard something like about Britain dumping trash, too much trash. Like, they have a problem with trash. Like, every country has a problem, right? Like, every country has, like, some sort of issue, China, it's CO2 emissions, right? Like they don't give a shit about that, right? And so this is what you have to realize is government and regulation and restriction isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. Like this is what keeps you safe. Is essentially these experts at a certain point realized these things, and just said, well, you know, the government went to these people and said, well, what do we need to do to make sure these don't happen? They went to the experts. The experts said, well, we have to impose these restrictions. So that way, slowly over time, the planet can just catch up and stuff like that. And it's worked. That's the point, because we consulted the experts. So we made those restrictions and put those in place. That's the point. You know, it's the same reason why the speed limit is reduced on ramps to enter or exit a highway. It's the same reason. You can't go as fast on a ramp because it's either icy, windy, or just otherwise unstable for traffic that a normal road would be, you know, and so you have to reduce speed. It's the same. It really is that that sort of kind of like basic, and you have to remember that the more the world has problems that evolve, the more you're just gonna need restrictions and stuff to prevent the problems from naturally occurring. It's not necessarily people like trying to do this stuff. Like they just want to be human. They just want to rev a chainsaw in front of a crowd obnoxiously, and that's fine. You want to do that? Fine, whatever. I don't care. I actually thought it was a cool chainsaw. I'll be honest. He kind of disgusts me anymore, but like I thought the chainsaw was kind of cool. I'll be honest. Yeah, like it was a cool looking chainsaw. Whatever. But like the point is like, you still need restrictions and stuff, because if you don't have it, again, people just do what they want, and it really harms the planet, really harms real people. And you know, you see things like this where something goes on under people's noses for too long, and now they've caused real damage. Does that make sense? Like alright, we know the ice caps are melting, and people like to roll their eyes and stuff like that and saying that, but this is a real danger that nobody's sort of kind of doing anything about. That's gonna just suddenly one day be the most clear and present danger, and there won't be anything we can do about it. That's kind of the point. So, like, that's the perfect example of something that's more global catastrophe versus, you know, this. So that's why people talk about that and trying to do something about that and stuff. And even Robert Downey Jr. has forked a ton of money into, like, research to try to figure out how to try to refreeze ice caps and stuff like that. And yeah, it sounds cool. Geoengineering sounds cool, but at the same time far-fetched, because then at the same time, obviously there's like, all right, what are we gonna accidentally do because we try to do this? I hope that's not the case. You know, like so that's all. You know, I just want to know about it and stuff like that. I'd love to hear about it. That's all. I don't really know enough about it, and I'm glad that he's trying to be a real life Tony Stark and stuff like that. But again, not enough people are doing that, so it just doesn't have enough traction. And think about what. All right, so for example, think about everything, the breakthrough that they just made in Parkinson's research. Great, right? Phenomenal. I love it. That's a good thing. But it's because everybody got together and everybody joined together to donate and to make sure, you know, the Michael J. Fox Foundation and all that, like, yeah, because everybody, like, you know, was on board with that. Yeah, this is terrible. We need to do something about this. For sure. And so therefore we've made that break. It's happening. We made the breakthrough. There's another genetic marker breakthrough just recently, and that's phenomenal. Great. I'd love to see that, you know, with some other things too. You know, that's kind of my point. Is why aren't we doing that with like a lot of other stuff? We're kind of at a standstill with a lot of stuff, and then at the same time we're letting AI take over. And you know, the point is, if you don't have a restriction, we've already explained what happens. So China's just kind of letting their AI computer not have a restriction, and then just take over. And all it's doing is learning. And if it can't learn something, it's going to do it at force. It's going to hack this or hack that. she uncovered more than 100 secret overseas police
savings you just.
All right, hang on.
To me, it is outrageous to think that the Chinese police would attempt to set up shop, in New York, let's say, without proper coordination. It violates sovereignty and circumvents standard judicial and law enforcement cooperation processes.
Hey all, I'm John Avila.
So wait, when is this? According to a recent report from Safeguard Defenders, there are more than 100 Chinese government-backed overseas police stations. Are you kidding me? From Safeguard Defenders. Police stations operating in more than 50 sovereign nations right now. In this episode of Reality Check with John Avalon, Safeguard Defenders campaign director Laura Harth describes the intimidation tactics being used, including alleged kidnapping, that's where it stops.
Avalon, and this is Reality Check on the Extremist Beat. Now, in the struggle between democracies and autocracies, there have been increasing reports of foreign governments ignoring borders and reaching right into free societies. I'm not just talking about the so-called spy balloons, but on-the-ground efforts by secret police to intimidate individuals in immigrant communities. In fact, get this, there are more than 100 Chinese government-backed overseas police stations operating in more than 50 sovereign nations right now, including the United States and Canada. That's according to a recent blockbuster report by the human rights NGO Safeguard Defenders. Now, in recent months, the FBI has conducted raids of some of these accused local outposts. And in late 2022, 7 Chinese nationals were charged by the Department of Justice for intimidating a longtime U.S. resident to return to China to face charges as part of an anti-corruption effort known as Operation Fox Hunt. Now, the Chinese government denies any wrong.
Wait. So they were targeting this guy that was here that needed to face charges in China? Are you kidding me?
To return to China to face charges as part of an anti-corruption effort known as Operation Fox Hunt. Now, the Chinese government denies any wrongdoing. They say that these foreign officers are just used to do things like renew licenses. But at the same time, they tout the stat that some 230,000 Chinese nationals were persuaded to return to face criminal trials in China from overseas between April 2021 and July 2022 alone. Now, persuaded to return sounds like a euphemism for something a lot uglier. Because often this persuasion process is coercive. For example, threatening the safety of family members at home if the target doesn't comply.
Right.
Taken together, it is a stunning breach of state sovereignty and a significant flexing of Chinese muscle overseas to assert the international reach of the CCP.
That's a good point that he makes there. Yeah. What he's essentially talking about there is the ability then for other people to be impacted by what they're doing because they would know the person and stuff like that, literally just because of that, and using that to their advantage and stuff is what he's talking about there. Oh boy.
Joining us to discuss the reality behind these shadowy efforts is Laura Harth. She's the primary author of this report on the proliferation of overseas Chinese police stations. Laura, thanks for joining us on Reality Check.
So she's the author.
Describe some of the intimidation tactics that are used by these overseas police officers.
There's basically 3 types of operations to persuade a person to return. So the first one is going after family members back home. So either take away their benefits, visit them regularly, visits by the local police to kind of persuade them, to persuade their relatives abroad that it's in their interest to return home, detain them, arrest them, even disappear or prosecute.
After a former judge in China's Supreme Court moved to Canada, he publicly criticized China's criminal justice system. Chinese authorities accused him of corruption and then attempted to get him to return voluntarily. When he refused, police detained his sister and then son back in China. Police also reached out to his ex-wife, a former longtime business partner, and others, such as the lawyer who was representing his sister, all with the aim to persuade him to return. Having been a judge, he knew very well what was in store for him should he return, and he continued to refuse despite the retaliation against his family members and others. China even sent a lawyer to Canada to persuade him in person in vain. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Alright, so this guy literally just, again, used free speech to criticize Chinese government. That's it. And they called it corruption and tried to get him to come back to face charges. That's it. And then that's what they're talking about. All they did was they detained his sister and son in China. And then, again, started using other, like, literally just sent a lawyer and like, what the because this guy was criticized using his free speech in another country, in Canada, to criticize China, which is, I'm sure what he was saying was correct, obviously. Jeez. Yeah, I'd say it was. It's literally proving how correct it is when he's in another country, he's not in their country. There's no bounds of their law in that country. China's full of fucking shit. They have no bounds of their law in other country. Now they're just full of shit. They don't believe in their own values at all. They don't believe in others' values. They just believe in taking over. That's fucking chaos. No. China saying this and going, like, they could sit there and say corruption, stuff like that, but the moment that they send people to other countries, look, this guy was saying this in Canada. So the moment that they feel this way and they start sending people to other countries, doing things outside of their own bounds in their own countries, they are wrong. They are the chaos. They are trash. That's it. There's nothing else to say. Because, again, you don't have a country at the end of the day. You have absolutely zero value. If what you're doing is being forced onto everybody else. Zero. Just like if you randomly take over a country by force. It's the same thing. You know, you're forcing what you believe on them. You know what I mean? Like, alright, imagine if because of the terrorists, Canada just randomly started invading the U.S. Because they disagreed with them. Just imagine that. You know, because like a little bit of a disagreement on something. Now, I gotta be honest, at least that would be a reason. Yeah, at least that would be a reason. Russia just... Wow.
In the stead of the person that they're after and who's overseas. But if that's not sufficient, they will either send covert agents abroad from Beijing or from other places in China to go after the target directly, to harass them, intimidate them, persuade them to return to China. Now, if even that doesn't work, the Chinese authorities actually wrote this down for us to see.
Wow.
They may use luring or entrapment of individuals, so they might try to get a person to a country from where it's easier to kind of retrieve that person, bring them back to China, because, you know, the judicial safeguards
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought they were gonna say. We saw this with so we saw this with Kim Jong Un. Remember this? We saw this with Kim Jong Un. Do you remember he assassinated his own brother, his own half brother? And the point was that he knew he couldn't do it in the U.S. and he knew he couldn't. Like, he may have even had trouble doing it in North Korea because of his ties and everything. So what he did was, when he was in the Philippines, I think, and he was in an airport, he had a few people there, and it was you know, like a freaking Mission Impossible movie or something. All they did was they scammed a few ladies into thinking that they were gonna like be taking pictures of them or something like that. And they had him, I think it was like they had him like wear something or dress up like something and hand stuff out or something like that. But then like the point was that they didn't know what they were doing and what they were, you know, like giving out and stuff like that. And it was literally as simple as you know, somebody just you know, doing something. You know, I'm not gonna say it, but it was like a brush or a bump or something like that, and that was it. And he assassinated his own brother, his own half brother. Kim Jong Un assassinated his own half brother because it was easier to do that in a Philippines airport. And that's the point. Because like that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like just certain, that's what she's talking about, is like certain countries, it's just easier for them. Oh, well, we'll get this person here. And then it'll be easier. That's the point. That's what they're talking about.
Are less in that particular place, but they may even use kidnapping. And so the Chinese authorities expressly state that kidnapping is a legitimate means to retrieve a person. For example, we have Swedish citizen Gui Minhai, who was kidnapped in 2016 in Thailand, who's still in China.
Laura, this is just such a brazen, Big Brother-esque attempt to overturn the rule of law inside democracies. What does it say about the Chinese government's respect for rule of law inside democracies and their expansionist ambitions?
It shows clearly they have no respect whatsoever, right? The PRC is very big on, you know, claiming territorial sovereignty, claiming sovereignty when it comes to, you know, criticizing people that call out their human rights record, which obviously, you know, is one of gross human rights violations, even genocide.
Yeah.
One of the difficulties, of course, is that there's a degree of pushback.
This is China. You know, just like the U.S. is sort of slowly recreating European history, Russia is trying to reestablish the Soviet Union. China is having problems with literally just being human. Yep. And when you start to rationalize, history fucking repeats itself. Like, you start to rationalize, if people don't evolve and adapt and move on. This was what America was supposed to be. It was supposed to be us getting away from the people that are stupid. And do that. And it's like we've come full circle. People keep getting dumber again. And getting taken advantage of. And you shouldn't take this as an insult. You should take it as a, wow, I really should kind of be smarter about stuff. Because again, we're all average intelligence. We should be really super smart. We should be evolved intelligence by now. And it's just like recurring, repetitive cycle of us repeating history, and then we, you know, we get these global catastrophe resets that we could prove through carbon dating, where it's like somebody's just not happy with us. It seems, you know, and it's like kind of obvious what happened, you know, where we didn't quite measure up. But what do you think's gonna happen again, man? Yeah. I get worried that we're not even gonna get a reset. I get worried that It's just gonna be our own selves this time. That's what I get concerned about. Yeah. So this is really good. This is really informative. I'm really glad to see that you know, like, people are doing the work and that they're doing the investigations and they're slowly getting on it. But I still feel like enough time's gone by where, like, can I get an update? I'd actually love to hear what happened with this. What's going on with this? You know what I mean? 2 years ago.
Back, right? That says if you're confronting these sorts of efforts, that it could bleed into a sort of xenophobia. And on the other hand, to not confront them is to participate or acquiesce in the abuse of people from these immigrant communities. How do you walk that line?
Well, the media attention has been amazing on these
Good
reports.
question.
It's obviously put the issue on the map, but there's always that kind of, as you say, balance that needs to be sought. But we do think it's important to highlight these issues and not fall into the trap that the Chinese Communist Party kind of wants us to get into,
Right.
and that is to remain silent. So I
Right.
think it's our duty to speak up on both, you know, sides of the equation.
She makes a very good point there. That's a really good point. Like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. They've created this really annoying cycle of, if you speak up, their AI is what it is. But then again, if you don't, communism. Because that's how it works. So should you speak up? Should you say, yeah? Should we? Yeah. Should we? Yes. Yep. So yeah, like, if you're wondering what the correct answer still is, yes, you should still continue reporting, speaking up. Freedom of the press should always be the answer. Still, doesn't matter if there's an endless AI learning. No, doesn't matter. You don't ever stop people from finding out information, ever.
And obviously speak out
Ever.
against any anti-Asian and anti-Chinese hatred, but call out the crimes of the Chinese Communist Party wherever they're happening.
Given that these brazen attacks on the rule of law are designed to undermine the rule of law in free and fair societies, how do you recommend specifically we solve this problem in a comprehensive but constructive way?
The first thing is really call out the Chinese authorities on what they're doing, right? Make it very clear that we think this is clandestine, this is illegal, this is a brazen violation of national sovereignty and international law. The second is building on that.
And I agree with that. To add to that, that was what I was saying earlier, where, in my opinion, China is complete chaos and disgust to the rest of the world, in my opinion. They are nothing. They are not a country. They have absolutely zero core value whatsoever. The very second that they start operating outside in other countries and just doing illegal things, and then at the same time then doing these things based on things somebody else did while in another country, and they're saying it's illegal. No, people in other countries that do things that they're allowed to do in those countries aren't suddenly bound to your fucking laws because they exist in your country. Okay, again, that's you trying to take over the world and decide momentarily what you like or don't like about what somebody else is saying in another country. So this guy is the problem. She, from China. This guy, he's a problem. He is a problem. He is a problem. And he does not like Chinese people really don't have this problem. They really don't. It's the elite rich. And this is the issue. This is what you see when you get a society that too far separates their upper class and stuff like that. I mean, just North Korea does it too, but it's I mean, that's complete socialism. That's one of everything. That's everybody's lied to. That's your one city is developed. This is we're talking about like with China, like it's a little bit different, and so it's not quite like that, obviously, developed country and everything, but it's still like the point is, this one guy shouldn't be making the decisions for everybody, and he is a problem. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Really share best practices, share information, share intelligence. So we need democratic countries to actually work together, law enforcement to work together and come together on this.
Right.
We do have a means to actually hold these people accountable, the individuals that are doing this. In March, the US stated that they would issue Magnitsky human rights sanctions, targeted sanctions.
Laura Harth, with the work you're doing is
I would hope
incredibly
so.
important, I think, to building a 21st century of the kind we all want to live in. Thank you very much for joining us on Reality Check, and be well. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great stuff. There's plenty of stuff like this that you can find on where CNN is like people at CNN and stuff like that. CNN themselves, and again, like I said, people at CNN are doing good work and reporting good things. The mentality, that a lot of people use where they completely discredit a news outlet or something like that. This is actually what the Chinese like. They like when Americans do this a lot and stuff like this. This is what you have to realize is they kind of use this. Like they're using the fact that you guys won't listen to this because CNN's talking about it. And like that's the point is like, yeah, you start realizing there are certain media outlets that are conveniently not covering certain things, and you'll only see it in certain places. And you start thinking to yourself, I wonder why that is. So it just takes a little bit of research sometimes to figure that out. And see what networks certain rich people own and stuff like that is what you have to start realizing. So that's what I'm going to say about that, but again, they don't just sit here and misreport. It's not misinformation. It's good, valuable information. And, you can do the same thing sometimes with Fox, too. It's just that, like, that's why there's such this divide with that. Because the folks that were defending Trump and defending those politics, hear me out for a second, were the same people that were watching Fox News. And Fox News, unfortunately, hear me out, is the one misreporting quite a lot. And because remember, Trump kind of lies. He says some things that aren't true. So they have to defend that. They have to look good. They have to kind of lie for him a lot. Please start to get to where I'm at and realize that this is where we are. And so now all that's happening is we have a lot of these people that are trying to say that it's CNN lies a lot and all these other people lie a lot. Nah, no. You are used to this because Fox does this. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They had to defend Trump left and right, and the guy never speaks in truth. I'm not... Again, like I don't hate him or anything like that. It just, again, I'd love for him to start doing something that seems to be helpful. That's all. And so, my point is, like, when you just deny everything and you like I never said that, that's fake news and stuff. And we obviously know it's not true. We obviously know he said it. You can just look at the video footage and then people that vote for him, they kind of know that in the back of their minds. So then why are you watching Fox News if you want to actually be informed when they are sitting here saying you never said that? And they're comparing, they're like, oh, this must be fake footage released by the... What? No, it's real footage. The point is he lied. Like, You know this, right? Like, come on, man. Please. Please just start getting to the same point. I know that some media outlets have, we'll just say this, made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. Literally everybody. And again, you will not. I've made mistakes. Other streamers made mistakes. Joe Rogan made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. The point is, do you admit it? Do you say, my bad, I was wrong about that? Or do you just sit here and try to look like a big whiny crybaby and say, I never said that? Or do you have the balls to go forward and say, yep, that was me, my bad? Or do you do you delete all your tweets where you lied and you couldn't even fucking make complete sentences, hire a writer to make your tweets for you, get Elon Musk to buy the company, change the name? I just, can we just stop it with the bullshit already? Like let's get past the TV drama and realize what's going on here. It's a bunch of billionaires playing a TV drama with you so that they can lie about the shit that Trump said and they can put stock in him again because he makes the money. That's it. Okay, I've already explained what the billionaires and the rich people get out of Trump. That's all it is. You're not getting anything out of it. They are. Meanwhile, he's just going to sit here and tell you you're getting a tax cut while increasing your taxes. That's literally what he did. Not misinforming. Promise. I'm just being honest. If he actually did something to help, I could talk about that instead. I wish he would. That's the point. Like, even with Biden, when I liked him, I would talk about the things I liked. When he stopped doing things I liked, there was nothing to talk about. I'm being honest. And then he did something else I liked. Yeah, he stepped down. It's commendable. That's something I liked. I think he was good. I think that sealed the deal for me that I can just call him a good president. Because he knew what we needed when we needed it. He didn't just pridefully walk forward and like not, admit when, nobody wants that and stuff like that, Just yeah. Taking a loss like that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like stepping down. I don't think he was gonna run anyway. You know what I mean? Like I remember a long while back. I think it was Colbert or something, and then I think they removed the footage because it made him look a certain way. But I remember him saying he wasn't gonna run a second time. And then again, I think he backpedaled because the idea is you don't tell people that. It just seems, like people like, oh, it's weak or what. Yeah, who cares? You know what I mean? Like that's stupid to me. So what's a president can't be a president and run for one term? No, I just think that's the point. Is like I'd actually look at the guy maybe a little more respectfully. I don't know, because that's the point. Like once you're president, everything's taken care of. You're a big kid. You don't have to do much of anything. You just sign off on things. You're the most powerful, protected person in the world. You wouldn't want to step down from that. You kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You think the president has a hard job? No. I used to think it was hard. It's not hard. It's not a hard job. It's hard if you treat it with respect. Do you think that that's what this current administration is doing? I don't think so. It's not a hard job. No, not when everything's being done by J.D. Vance. I feel bad for the man. That guy is... No wonder his pants don't fit him, right? feel bad for him. Because, like, I actually think JD Vance is cool. I think he's okay. I don't have anything bad. Like, what has he ever done or said that I disagree with? Usually nothing. Not usually. He doesn't seem to really be doing anything that I hate, except when he's implicitly sticks up for Trump when he knows he's just saying stuff that's not going to happen, you know. But, like, I mean, that goes along with, like, what I told you guys about Sean Spicer and all the other people that Trump ruined their careers over the years. Like, essentially, Sean Spicer had one hell of a job to just come out and lie for Trump. And he just got sick and tired of doing it. And then the first time he told the truth, he got fired. That's it. That's all that happened. And then that guy's career is ruined. Really messed up. And, like, this is what you have to realize, is that Trump doesn't help people. He just ruins their careers. All while making himself look good. And that's what I started realizing about Trump is, well, Sean Spicer, like, why would everybody then start hating that guy? Just because you're supposed to? Yeah, so, like, what the hell did he even do? Like, the point is that guy's the actual American that tried to change his mind and tried to tell you the truth. Meanwhile, he's getting paid not to. He should have just gone through the motions and kept lying to you assholes that turned your back on him. That's the point, like, I will never understand what people deduce about these guys and they just start hating them. I will never understand that. Because, again, Sean Spicer was the guy that made the correct decision in the end and told you the truth. And then he got fired. Oh my god. It's like a mafia. Like, that's the point. He even wears the long black coat, and he had the motorcade changed to the one that looks exactly like some fucking New York mobster thing. Like, it's all a TV show, man. It's just a TV show with Trump. I'm just being honest with you, man. Like, he doesn't... He knows what's going to happen if he imposes tariffs. Like, all right, so, like, a lot of the time what I'm saying is, like, he doesn't do these things for a reason. He does them to make you think he's doing something. And then, like, he just sort of kind of, like, silently doesn't do them. Does that make sense? So, like, I think he put an extension on his 25% tariffs or something like that. Like, he causes a ruckus, he causes drama, and then just, like, kind of, like, doesn't do that thing. Because he can't. So, like, this is my point. This is why I say he doesn't do anything. What's he doing? Except, again, pandering to Putin, making it seem okay. And again, talking with somebody that's destroying another country. And then while saying that Biden didn't talk to him, making it look like a bad thing that Biden didn't talk to him. Now, that's a good thing. We don't talk to terrorists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. That's what you do. You don't talk to a terrorist. Vladimir Putin's a terrorist. The moment that he invaded Ukraine, he's a terrorist to the nation, to NATO. I don't give a flying fuck what Trump says, does, or whatever. This nation stands with NATO. We always have been. We always will, even after Trump. Okay? So the point is, Europe cares. We care about Europe. We even care about Canada, and Canada cares about us. Right now, there's tension because of Trump. Stop. He's doing all this. It's just him. It's just him. He's upsetting you. He's making you worried. He is making you think there's going to be a third world war. No. 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 Oh, no. No. There would be a lot of things. I'm not going to say anything specific. The United States can ensure that a World War III will not happen. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to stop it there. Okay? So again, I just remind you again, the United States can make sure a World War III will not happen, okay? That's all I'm going to say. And again, you need to realize this too. You need to realize that this is a good thing. And that Donald Trump knows this too. And he's playing with you. He's trying to make it like this is all about his name. He's not doing anything. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how to do anything. And he can't do anything. He's a damn convict. What can he do? Nobody trusts him to do anything. That's the point. Nobody, like, this is why he has Elon Musk gutting entire agencies and shit like that. Yeah, because people were gonna sit here and stop Trump left and right from being dangerous again. He was very dangerous the first time around. I'm just warning you, like, the truth. Mike Pence had to physically, I think it was like stop him from, what was it? I don't remember what it was, but I know there was something that Mike, like, there was several times where Mike Pence had to actually, like, convince him to go golfing so that he wouldn't, like, retaliate using, like, executive action and stuff like that, like, do stupid shit to, like, harm people. And he's the president. Like, what the fucking hell, man? Why isn't he having, like, genius ideas on how to help the country and stuff like that? Why instead is it just, like, all some damn TV show? We're gonna do this thing, I'm gonna call it a joint venture, and nobody's ever talked to or done it like that before. Talked about it like that before. Nobody's ever talked about a joint venture before. Oh. Okay. He just says these stupid things. What's your point? Like, it's supposed to trick you. Like, alright, maybe you guys haven't heard of a joint venture, but he knows what the hell that is. You know what I mean? Like, to him, he's heard joint venture a million times, but you don't know what it is because you're not a business. I mean, that's a common business term. Like, people know what that is. Yeah, it's when two businesses get together to do something. It's literally like that simple, man. It's a joint venture. Like, what? How do you, like? Nobody ever heard of it. So. Anyway, my point is, can he do something about this? Can he can he give maybe some resources to the feds researching the Chinese police stations and shutting them down, please? That I'd love. Yep. Yep. That would be great. If I saw a little bit of evidence that he was doing something to you know, help the situation with the Chinese police stations.
The threat of Chinese operations.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's signing new orders. Boy. Gunman opens fire in U.S. hospital. What the fuck? People in chat, what's wrong with the USA? Listen, man, I've been trying to tell you for a while what's wrong, but nobody listens. No, they listen, they just don't care. It's not simple. It's a matter of doing the thing. Yeah, so, wow. There's nothing, they're just showing, like, the outside of the hospital.
From between
Oh, here we go.
10:35 a.m., approximately that time, and 11:13 a.m., an incident occurred here at UPMC Memorial Hospital that involved an individual by the name of Diogenes Archangel Ortiz. His date of birth 11/4/75. This individual entered the hospital, and he entered carrying with him a bag that did include a handgun and zip ties. That becomes important for what he did later on. He went straight to the ICU, and in the ICU, this individual went and held hostage members of the UPMC staff. In total, he wound up discharging his firearm and struck 3 members of the UPMC
What the fuck is, like, why?
staff. One was a doctor who was grazed, the other was a nurse and a custodian who are in stable condition at this time. There was, from our understanding at this time, a 4th individual who fell and did suffer injury, who's part of medical staff due to the fall, but not struck by the discharged firearm. And additionally,
So I guess this guy's taking hostages too? Like, what the hell? Why? Like, why, what the fuck? Why is this so regular? This is in Pennsylvania? Oh, god damn it, it's in York? Oh, son of a bitch, that's like an hour away. This is happening an hour away. Are you fucking kidding me?
we are located within West Manchester Township Police Department region.
There it is.
The Northern York County Regional Police Department, Spring Exbury Township Police Department, Spring Garden
Wow.
Township Police Department, York City Police Department, Newbury Township Police Department.
This is
the
at
Pencil-
UPMC. Anybody watching locally, it's at UPMC. In York. And they're taking hostages, apparently. Oh, Saturday morning, I'm sorry. This says it's live. I apologize. This says it's live. Wait a minute. This says the gunman entered on Saturday morning. I apologize.
Shot or any
This must be re-aired. Hold on. A man carrying a handgun. This might be old. Sorry, it's not now. It's not now. A man carrying... It's because it's live, so I thought it was now. I think they're re-airing it.
Ortiz.
I think that's all they're doing. A man carrying a handgun and zip ties took hostages inside a Pennsylvania hospital on Saturday, killing a responding police officer and wounding 5 others, officials said. He was killed in counterfire from the police. The gunman entered UPMC Memorial Hospital in New York, Pennsylvania on Saturday morning. Oh. Damn. Why?
To further formation, to work on how they were going to approach the individual. When he came out, Mr. Diogenes Archangel Ortiz came out holding at gunpoint a member of the UPMC staff who was also had her hands tied with the aforementioned zip ties. Holding her at gunpoint, coming out into the hallway, the officers, left with no recourse, did open fire and did shoot and kill Diogenes Archangel Ortiz. During the course of the armed confrontation that was caused by Mr. Archangel Ortiz, there were 3 officers who were struck. An officer from Northern York County Regional Police Department and an officer from Springettsbury Township Police Department were both struck, and they are in stable condition.
Oh, that's good.
However, Officer Andrew Duarte from the West York Borough Police Department was fatally struck and killed.
See, this is what's terrible, is like the fact that anybody was killed, but at the same time, like, why? Like, but my question is, like, what is even this motive? Like, you know what I mean? Like that like, what the fuck, man? Why do people just take a gun in a hospital and just start taking hostages? And like, what the hell is happening? And this is what the rest of the world is thinking too. Like, they probably sit here watching me like, oh, you probably know better than us. No, man. The only thing, like, that's the point. Like, I'm just as fucking confused. Like, I have no fuck. Like, I'm like, why the hell would somebody do this? Like, the rest of us are confused. Like, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest, and you're not gonna want to hear it. Education. But gun and violence education. I didn't have any. My school didn't teach it. No. Mine didn't. I think that in middle school, not high school, middle school, they need to teach violence education. There needs to be a course called Understanding the Politics of Destruction, or something like that. Like, you don't have to use the word violence, but the point is, you have to understand the inner workings in politics and sociology that goes behind somebody wanting to do something like that. Because the point is, I like, you have to rationalize that it's intent. You know, something is built into their heart that makes them you know what I mean? Like, and there's people that are just never built, that would never ever even dream of. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point. And so, when you have such two different people, you need to make sure that you're educating to find some middle ground where these people can talk to each other and understand why they think so differently, so that way they become friends early in life, and then, you know, they go through that education, and then as they go through high school, then they get gun violence education. And I think it is important. Now, I don't give a shit what parents think. I'll be honest with you, I really don't, because they're proving that they're not doing the right things here, because it's just getting worse. So I'll be honest with you, they need to shut up with some of this stuff and accept the fact that you need gun violence education. You need real education, because these kids know about it, they're curious about it, they want to do it, and they're gonna do it. And if you teach them, if you show them a scary video, take them to a field trip, shooting range, yada yada yada, like the whole 9 yards, I think it would actually help get it out. Does that make sense? Because it's anybody that knows the sociology, the psychology of what I'm explaining, like certain people, it's a matter of getting that out. You know what I mean? Like even like at a certain point they didn't know why they did it. You just did it, and they're just like, you know, like, and now they're claiming up and down they don't know why, they don't know why, they don't know why, they don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like obviously there's real crazy people. Obviously we identify them, but then there's also the ones few and far between, and that's what a lot of these are, where it seems like a person that just was normal until they weren't. Yep. So there's that little thing somewhere where they just never got a chance to do this, and they're in their brain, there's all these things building that essentially their brain is associating with this is the problem. It's not. But because they have anxiety, depression, or whatever they have going on in their life, their brain has a disconnect where, because they never did this one thing, oh, that must be it. Because you didn't do that, that must be it. So now it's their fault. I have to do this. And I really think sometimes that's the case, is like, some people just want to shoot a fucking gun, man. Just like some people want to go and hit a bag. Or you know, like, that's the point, is like, nah, some people, that's the point. They just want to do this or this, and they get too crazy. And if you watch this stuff and you watch 60 Minutes and you watch, like, you know, like all these endless, you know, specials of them deducing, like, you know, all these people that did these things and stuff like that, and then you spend all this time watching and, you know, like, detective stories and stuff like that, you know, you can kind of extrapolate that, yeah, you know, a lot of these guys, that's the point. They were normal until they weren't, and you know, there was something, again, where just the education, you know, was seemingly not there. You know, like it's somebody that would, you know, like, they wouldn't harm somebody. They don't harm people. You know, like, the point is, like, was this guy harming people? No, he was zip tying them, just threatening. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like sadistic or weird. You know what I mean? Like, there's crazy, and then there's, you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying. And you know, not to get too into it, but I don't know either. The point is, I don't freaking know either, man. But you can tell I've thought about it. You can tell I've sat here and I'm like, why the hell would somebody, why? Just why? Don't, you got me. You got me. But anyway, yeah, that's awful. Again, this is live, but again, it was on Saturday that it happened. And, that's terrible. That somebody was unfortunately caught in crossfire and killed just because they were responding to some jerk. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you're crazy, for sure. But, like, that's the point, like, why? Because somebody needs to address it, or it's just gonna, you know, you have to look at statistics, you have to look at everything, you know? And you have to be willing to sit here and talk about the uncomfortable things. You know, like, it may sound uncomfortable a little bit to talk about that stuff here and there, but you know, you're not. Yeah, I know this is a stupid thing, but you're not. If you're not doing that, you're not talking about it. You're not. You know what I mean? Like, you're conveniently dancing around it. You're not talking about it if you're not doing that. What's this one?
I chose Wix for...
We getting informed today. We getting informed. NFL player arrested for viral anti-MAGA protest. Oh, this should be good. Here we go. We gotta see this one. What is this? What is this?
4 words on a plaque going up at a California library have thrown a city into the crosshairs of a political controversy. Those words? Magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous. The acronym, aka MAGA. Underneath those words is this quote: "Through hope and change, our nation has built back better to the golden era of Make America Great Again." Note the references to Obama's Hope and Change and Biden's Build Back Better, and of course, Trump's MAGA. Well, leaders in Huntington Beach approved the privately financed plaque, but not before one man spoke up against it. Watch.
MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those
Wait a
serving
minute. Let me just hear this again. I need to hear this. I need to. What exactly is this that we're talking about? What is this? Wait. What is this? Former NFL punter Chris Clue. I've never heard of this guy. Who did he play for? Was arrested during a city council meeting in Huntington Beach, California. Oh, California. The Rams, maybe? I don't know. After what he called an act of civil disobedience over a plaque with an acrostic poem that spells out MAGA. So wait a minute. He protested in a city council meeting so much that he was arrested? And what the what Wait a minute. Wait, what? Oh god. Sorry, this is just. Why is this so funny? Probably because. Why the fuck's he protesting a plaque? What is this for?
Well, controversy. Those words?
Oh, Central Library, Huntington Beach Central Library, and it's just 4 words. Magical, alluring, galvanizing, adventurous. So he's pointing out that the acronym says MAGA? So what? He's really... What? Is this... Oh my god, are you serious? Okay. If that's really what's happening, I understand. This is too woke. Yeah, I understand. This is too... Are you fucking kidding me? He gets arrested for protesting that a plaque has the words magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous. And again, MAGA's not written on there. It doesn't say Make America Great Again. It says magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous. And he is being upset. Is this really what I'm hearing? Oh my god. Yeah, that's too... Alright, yeah, that's too woke. Like, that's the wokeness they're talking about. Like, this is ridiculous. Look at her face. She knows it too. She's like, I guess this is happening. Oh my god. Oh shit, what'd I do? Oh my god. What'd I do? I don't know what I did. That...
Forward.
Oh my god. I think I hit back.
On a plaque going up at a California library have thrown a city into the crosshairs of a political controversy. Those words, magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous. The acronym, AKA MAGA. Underneath those words is this quote: "Through hope and change, our nation has built back better to the golden era of Make America Great Again." Note the
Okay, alright, so it does say it.
references to Obama's hope and change and Biden's Build Back Better, and of course Trump's MAGA. Well, leaders in Huntington Beach approved the private...
I don't care. Why should he? No, this is fucking stupid, man. This is stupid. This is kind of the point. Like, this NFL punter could use his name to care about things that matter. And instead, he's protesting a fucking plaque. Come on, man. Yeah.
...financed plaque, but not before one man spoke up against it. Watch.
MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic.
Listen. Stop this. Stop. It's wrong. It's the wrong message. No, I don't agree with this. MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. Period. End of discussion. It doesn't stand for any of that shit. Stop doing that. It's not what it stands for. You're just making shit up like Trump does now. You are no different than he is if you're starting to do this. Stop. You're falling on deaf ears, man. Even I'm gonna be against this sort of thing. Like, this is not the middle of the road. This is the very liberal thing that they're seeing, and this is the very woke thing that they're talking about. It's essentially they're seeing these people, you know, in real official settings, really complaining about this shit. Like this matters. Jesus, you know, again, there are Chinese police stations in the U.S. And instead, oh god, okay.
MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have
What's his name? Chris Clue. I'm gonna look this guy up. I'm gonna try to be helpful to the Democrats here for a minute, because listen, like, you're having a real problem looking like men. This is the issue. Okay, I really want you to understand you're having trouble looking like men. That's the problem. Okay. He's pretty fucking tall. He's from Philadelphia. Yeah, Los Angeles. Who did he play for? Vikings. Alright, so, listen, man. I want to know. All right, so here's my thing. If he was arrested for just like saying things about it at a city council meeting, that's not enough to arrest. Like, obviously, all right, so like obviously in his defense, I get that, like, all right, look into it. Like, I don't know much about how he was arrested too. Was he just speaking? Or was he like really like they wanted to dismiss his protest, they all voted on it, and he was still protesting? Okay, then I could see he's being disruptive to their process, so he needs to be removed. That's different. But if again he's just, while the proceedings are going on, they're talking about it, just removed because he's protesting something that they're all agreeing on, well, then you have an undermining of democracy, for sure. And essentially, he's trying to point that out. So I understand where he's coming from, and I understand because that's what's happening all over the country. We have an undermining of democracy going on. But you have to understand, too, that this is how the media is making it look. So now, here we are looking at this guy, and all we see is ex-NFL punter arrested after viral MAGA protest, anti-MAGA protest, and again, he's just protesting a plaque. We don't know anything about the arrest, anything that happened in that meeting. All we hear is this guy that was paid millions of dollars to play football, something we'd all love to freaking do, is all bent out of shape because of a fucking plaque on a library. That's how we look at it. That's how any reasonable fucking person looks at this. So again, even somebody that doesn't care for Trump very much, I can appreciate the anti-woke, sentiment of this is ridiculous. Like, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. But hear him out. What was he heard? Or was he simply silenced like Trump does to the Democratic reporters and tells them to remove? Remember, he's like removing people from like government positions and stuff. So this is what you have to realize is that happening? That's where I would say is like, all right, I get the whole woke sentiment. To me, it seems that way too. It's pretty ridiculous to complain about a plaque. But was he removed for something simple? And that's where, yeah, all right, then that is very alarming. Yeah, he's just complaining about a plaque, and you remove him, you arrest him for doing something he's allowed to do. Now I will be like, okay, and then the whoever arrested him too went along with this. I wouldn't have felt comfortable with that. I would have been like, can you give me probable cause first? He didn't do anything wrong. Like, can you vote on this? He's protesting. Give me a reasonable reason. Okay, he's protesting after the fact, and you told him to stop. Okay, now that's probable cause. Now I'll remove him. See, like, this is where they need to stand their ground too, and just stop fucking getting in line and taking orders. You know what I mean? Because they can do that. They're bound to the law, and they can just say no. Nope. It's illegal. I'm not doing that. You do it. You're fired. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and take a trip to the DA's office tomorrow because you fired me for not doing something illegal. This is where they could take a stand, and instead they just... Yeah, I'm saying. So like, I get that it seems woke, but like from his perspective, yeah, like think about it like that, like maybe it could be that bad. Where yeah, it seems really funny and it like even I laughed about it, but then you have to consider yeah, he's gonna be looked at a certain way, and even I was doing it a little bit. So I looked him up just now and stuff like that, just to briefly look him up, and yeah, nothing, no drama prior to this, it seemed, just pretty normal punter for the Vikings, I think. And then all of a sudden, he just. So, I may be actually inclined to kind of follow this a little bit.
Placed a swastika with a red hat. That is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
That's former NFL punter Chris Kluwe. Police carried him off after he approached city council.
Oh, well, here we go.
Kluwe says he was charged with a misdemeanor and held in custody for about 4 hours. You know what? Chris Kluwe.
Oh, okay, my fault. I should have just shut the fuck up. My fault.
Including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
That's former NFL punter Chris.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Yep. He was exercising his right to protest this, essentially. Yeah, like basically showing that he has a right to do so, and they just sort of kind of arrested him.
Kluwe. Police carried him off after he approached city council members. Kluwe says he was charged with a misdemeanor and held in custody for about 4 hours. You know what? Chris Kluwe joins me now. Chris, thank you for joining. Everyone has been
This is pretty interesting, I'll admit.
talking about this moment, and I'm wondering, why did you decide to take this particular course of action?
Well, first and foremost, it's because the Huntington Beach City Council does not care about the community of Huntington Beach. They've made it very obvious that their goal is to advance their own interests, to rise higher in Trump's sphere of influence. And you can see that by our city attorney, Michael Gates, leaving the city and being appointed to Trump's administration. So that's really a problem when a city council doesn't have its city's best interests in mind.
And why did this particular plaque spur this reaction, more than, say, his leaving?
So for me, it's the fact that MAGA, as I said, is explicitly a Nazi ideology, and they are coming after trans rights. They're coming after resegregation and racism. Like they are tearing down our government because they can only see power for themselves, and they don't care who they hurt to have to get it.
I agree.
And I feel that a political message like that is certainly not appropriate on a public library. And let's face it, public libraries, they are apolitical places. There should be no political message on the public library. It's a space for everyone to come in, regardless of your.
So, here's the problem. The statement itself herein, "Make America Great Again," itself, by itself, the statement does not ensue anything except to make America great again. So even in a court case, what this guy doesn't realize is all he's going to do is, even in a court case, yada, 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 all these lawyers, yada, yada, he's going to find out that at some point the lawyers and the judge, and they're going to come to the same conclusion where you cannot sit here and put any type of, like sort of saying a terrorist threat. You can't sit here and make an entire, terroristic sort of organization be responsible for any one phrase, especially when that phrase is very obviously positive in nature, when the literal definition of the phrase is positive in nature. He's fighting a losing battle, because again, this is what I've always said, is it's the trolling nature of Donald Trump. He says this but means the opposite. Like, we obviously know this is what is happening. We obviously know MAGA is corruption. We obviously saw a ton of people after Biden won the election, literally just randomly storm the Capitol, destroy a bunch of shit, trying to kill people. Like, this is the point. Like, we saw that, and we saw that it was literally, like when Trump won, we didn't do the same thing. Democrats didn't do the same thing. So yeah, we know that Trump voters are terrorists. We know this is a terrorist organization, unfortunately not organized. And so when this happens, you have people, media and other terrible people that use the media to manipulate these people because they're desperate people that don't know what the fuck. They're just following anarchy. And yeah, we see that. But again, the statement "Make America Great Again," I don't know that picking the protest there okay, I guess it's a starting point. I don't know. I just it's interesting. Let's hear what he has to say. Again, the statement itself on the plaque by itself is not a political statement. It just means "Make America Great Again." However, if you're here during the time that it exists and stuff like that, you do understand. Yeah, it's not what it means. It's the opposite. It means make it segregated, make it for the rich people. Like, that is what it means. Like, we know that. It's not to make it great. So yeah, I get what he's saying, but I don't know. Let's hear his stance and why he decided to do this too, and that's going to be important too. But I want to see this go well, because the point is I love it. I love to see people actually standing up for a change. But unfortunately, the part of my problem with this is, like, again, I want to see it turn out well, but I don't know that it will for him.
Political affiliation.
People have really bristled at the notion of your statement about a MAGA being a, quote, Nazi movement. Some look at this as you painting an extremely broad brush when it comes to describing all of those who supported Trump and voted for him. What's your reaction to those who say that that is a highly offensive decision to even say that that's what you associate MAGA with?
I would say that during the 1930s, there were a lot of very good Germans who trusted Hitler and thought he had their best interests in mind. And so they followed him because they believed that he would do the right thing for them.
Right.
And then in 1946, there were a lot of very good Germans who had a lot of regrets. And I think right now, there are a lot of good Americans who think Trump has their best interest in mind. But Trump clearly has his own interests in mind, and he does not care about anyone else. And I would rather not see those people have regrets when the bodies stop falling and the blood stops being shed, because they did the right thing now instead of waiting.
You know, I am not.
Yeah. And that's my sentiment too, and that's why I get on here and I yell at the screen and I yell at the screen and I get upset and I'm passionate, is because of exactly why he said what he said. So as ridiculous as what he's doing sounds, it's actually the same reason I have, because I too paid attention in history and to remember learning about exactly the point was that people did vote for that, and then suddenly they regretted it. You know what I mean? And the point is, like, it's just history repeating itself. You know, how much of us have German ancestry and European in our DNA, and so, like, you have to rationalize at a certain point. You're going through the motions. You got to stop. And the point is, history repeats itself. You know, Trump isn't Hitler. No. But he did say Hitler had some good ideas, and that's a stupid, dangerous thing to say to a bunch of desperate, misinformed people. So they just start doing things that Nazis do. Because, again, he said Hitler had some good ideas. What are my thoughts about trans women in women's sports? I think I should do it by weight. I think all sports at this point like going forward, it's just a weight class at this point. You need to do a lightweight, heavyweight. So if you're gonna start doing that, this needs to be looked at as like a weight class sort of thing, where you're gonna have trans women that were men converting to women, and then you're gonna have the other way around. So you need to look at the fact that some of them are gonna have huge upper bodies, and some of them are gonna have huge lower bodies, and some of them are gonna be small, some of them are gonna be large, in between. And so it needs, a lot of that needs to be weight class, and so I'm not opposed to it. It's just, you know, weight classes. And again, I don't want to see here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see an obvious, like, huge person beating on a small person, and then them calling it some sort of, like, 9 belt win or something, like 9 medal win or something. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of seeing, like some fucking guy, you know, like very obvious guy, like it's like somebody that has like lots of, you know, like it trust me, it's a guy basically, and they're just like in there just with the women, and it's like, okay, can we just start doing the weight classes now? Do you know who Lily Chino is? No. No, you no. I'll look it up. Oh, is she an Instagram person? Is she a she? Maybe it's a guy, I don't know. I'm saying Lily Tino. O applies guy. Tino. But Lily. She, okay. Yeah, don't. I have no idea. I was trying to look up, like, a picture, what she looks like. Oh, okay, I see now. Nope, no idea. I've never seen. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. But like here's how most people are going to look at that. So that it's interesting that you brought up the whole trans subject, because let's talk about that for a second. I'm sure people are wondering, you know, like how I feel about that and stuff. She talked about her transgenital surgery in front of children at Disney for her TikTok. I'm not sure she should have done that. Still use proper discretion when, you know, like with restrictions and stuff like that. Realize something though. I understand wanting to take action and like be super like aware of when like a guy that's not actually trans converts to a woman. I understand that, but what you have to understand is that sometimes these guys that convert to women are actually like half and half. Like they got both down there. And they're having problems. And it's much easier sometimes to get rid of one than the other. sometimes. And so they just do the conversion the way that it's easier, the way they consult their doctor, they talk about it, so they do the conversion, and it's just much easier to be one gender than try to be all confused. It does cause emotional problems. It does, like that's the point. Like you're going all different directions, man. No, you need to pick something. And the people that don't, they're few and far between that can make it work. Those are like some really gifted and probably very intelligent people, actually. They're not affected by the things that you and I say, and their emotions don't get all bent out of shape and stuff. That's the point. So, do you like Blair White? You're mentioning all these things I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who that is. Political commentator, YouTuber, 31 years old. Don't know her. Can't say. I mean, I don't dislike her. Oh, right. So yeah, all right. So that's a good, perfect example. All right, right. Like, so like, that's a perfect example of like, yeah. So like, she's accepted, right? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the ones that are pretty and look like women are accepted. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Just so that we're clear, I'm not trans. I know that's something that comes up because, like, I guess I have pink and blue and shit like that, and maybe I talk with a lisp because I have gay friends. I don't know. I'm not even gay. I'm not even bi. So in case you're wondering, like, just being completely upfront and honest. Not trans, not gay, just a straight guy. Anybody that's wondering. It's not. I mean, I'm sure it's kind of obvious to some people, like, yeah, I kind of knew that, but, yeah, I'm not, like, trans or anything like that. Just because the lights, right? Yes! Yeah, so that's actually a good point. That is what people do. They are more accepting of, like, obviously the ones that are pretty, Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you would know, but, like, some might not.
Not somebody who thinks that you're only supposed to be outspoken on election day. You really vote throughout the course of your lives with every action that you take. And yet, the rhetoric you talk about and a lot of the criticism that you have for MAGA policies, they were stated before the election. Why do you think that did not resonate with voters?
Because Trump, somebody shot at him. That's it. People were going to change their minds and vote for Kamala, and then somebody took a shot at Trump. That's all that happened. Trump shouldn't have been president a second time. I guarantee you that's all that happened. This is how easy it is to manipulate the American people. They were changing their minds, but because he was shot at and he got up and pumped his fist, people are this... I'm sorry, but that's stupid. That is stupid. You don't elect somebody because they get up and pump their fist because they got shot at. Okay, I promise you, if anybody would have done the same thing if they had have a million guys that jump around them to try to take a bullet for them. Yeah, they're going to try to look, all powerful and stuff too. You know, they're gonna stand up and be like, yeah, I'm right here. But get my shoes. I just the point is like people really did change their mind when that happened. They really did. So let's hear what he has to
Because
say.
I don't think voters thought that he meant it. Again, Hitler promised what he was going to do. He explicitly laid out, Jews are the problem. I am going to get rid of them. That will make this country great. Trump has said, immigrants are the problem. Trans people are the problem. We are going to get rid of them, and that will make this country great. And it is very, very
Basically,
similar
he
to
said
what Hitler
that.
promised. And
Yeah.
it's not going to make this country great. It's just going to make this country worse.
Let me just go back to the moment when you approached that podium. I understand your intention when you're walking up there. I understand you expected that your act of what you say was civil disobedience was going to land you with the police coming to you and being handcuffed. You stopped before you actually reached that podium. But what has been the response to your action?
Overwhelmingly positive. I've had a lot of people reach out and say, you know, thank you for standing up. Thank you for taking a stand. And I've had a lot of people, and I believe this as well, saying, I wish my elected officials were doing the same. And I have a message for our elected officials, particularly our Democratic elected officials, is that I've done my part. I've shown you how to do it. Now it's your turn, because you are the people that we elected, and you are the people that need to step up and stop this madness, because we have a man who put a crown on his head. And I can't think of anything more fundamentally un-American than a president wearing a crown. That goes against everything this country stands for.
Yeah.
Chris Kluwe, thank you so much for joining tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I agree. No, so like as much as I was laughing at it at first, it's the same message I have. It's like the same, but it looks laughable. That's the point. So even I'm willing to admit that. While it looks laughable, you can't. It's serious. It really is. Like, these are just people, man, and they're taking advantage of them. So yeah, like I understand. I mean, he is complaining about a plaque on a library that just says "Make America Great Again," but get what he's saying. You know, like the fact that like the reason that it's so adamant about complaining about the small things is because you don't even do anything when it's something big. You like the point is people don't change their mind even when it's something big. So yeah, I get it. Not letting them forget about every little thing. I think anyone who approached their officials like that would be arrested. Yeah, no, yeah, like that's the point. He was exercising his right to protest. The point was that he was gonna the point was that he was making a point to stand there and protest peacefully. To essentially block anything else until they come to a conclusion on that is the point. But they just arrested him, you know. So I think the point is he wasn't going to take no for an answer, and he was going to exercise his right to protest it, and he was doing so right there. And so yeah, actually I think it's really smart what he did. But the point is, even while I laugh at it, what he has to realize is I'm not the only one, and because I laughed at it a little bit and gave a little bit back, this is gonna soften the blow. And now, because I'm one of the, you know, that's the point, is like, if there's somebody looking at this reasonably from both sides, people can look at it. That's the point. That's why I have to kind of like laugh at it and call it for what it is. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear that I'm going to give that side to it, that I'm going to consider, look, it's just a statement, make America great again. And he's complaining about that. I get that. And I even stated that, and I was laughing at it at first, but you have to then meet him halfway and get to his logic of why he did it. And why it's not funny, why it actually is serious at the end of the day. and sort of kind of get to the same point. And that's where I've wound up now. I've arrived at the conclusion he was correct, and it's cool that he did that. California, so obviously it's gonna be really popular there. But what you have to remember is in these really red states, stuff like that, that's the issue, is everybody in that state likes Trump, and it's just ridiculous. And they shouldn't. There's really no reason at this point. He's not doing anything. Let's see what Trump's doing. Get informed a little bit. Since we're getting informed, what's Trump doing? Oh, let's ask Google. What has Donald Trump... Hold on. Trump... constructively gotten done since being president the second time? Oh no, I'm gonna ask this. I wanna ask. I'm not asking Google. No. We're gonna ask the whole internet. No. No, I don't. Ah! Gemini's refusing to help. Yep, because Trump will sue. Oh, this looks accurate. This looks like an accurate tire. Oh, fuck. Why does it have to be white? You see this? Why do they have to do this? Yep, told you. I knew it. Hold on, let's look at this. This is pretty serious. Hold on. This is insane. Hold on. I'm gonna look into this a little bit. This is awful. This is awful. This is awful. What he's doing. Holy shit. So remember how I said the executive orders or something where he could just literally just say this and then do the opposite? Yeah. Yep. Basically. So he signed an executive order banning trans from sports, basically. And then even further signed this order that prevented, I guess, anybody from entering the country claiming to be a different gender or something like that than they actually were. So thus eliminating transgenders from other countries too, trying to like he literally just sat here deciding whether or not transgender should be allowed in sports. Sorry, you did. I did say no. I guess I could give a more reasonable explanation as to why do I think Oprah should be would be a good president. The answer is no. In fact, I want to get rid of this constant need for people to want celebrities to be presidents. This is the problem. I don't want a celebrity. I want somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. I want somebody that went to law school. I want somebody that understands economics. Arnold, fine, but he wasn't even born here. So like the point is Arnold has experience. You know, like the point is I want somebody with experience. We have all these Democrats that people are passing up on over the years that have experience that would have done the job just fine, and people are like so stupid about it. So like I'm tired of like really qualified candidates being passed up because again the Republican made them look corrupt, was successful at making them look corrupt, and so again it's all that's going to happen with Oprah, with any celebrity that does this. The billionaire is just going to make them look corrupt and people are going to believe it because they're stupid. They don't know what they're looking at. They literally just believe anything. It's ridiculous. It's so annoying. So you know, like the point is people need to just be able to stop being stupid and research. That's it. I'm sorry, but like I'm not like saying this to somebody that can't research and just get smarter. Anyway, no, Oprah would be a decent ethical choice. But as far as like, again, how do I know she knows anything about government or law or strategic, commanding of troops and stuff? No, I don't know. I'm not on board with just randomly picking celebrities to run the most powerful country in the world and the largest military the world's ever seen. No. Nope. And this is again why Trump shouldn't do it either. Too easily manipulated. It's just a giant fucking television show. I want Bernie Sanders, man. I want that guy as president. Alright, you know what? If there's some celebrities that I'd be fine with the ones that are informed. The ones that talk about this. Like, even even like, for example, like Fox News anchors, I think would do a better job than Trump because they care. They live in this country. They're not billionaires, so they have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have to. Most of the problems that he causes, he doesn't have to worry about because he's a billionaire. These guys would care because the problems would affect them too. This is what people don't realize. They don't realize just how much above your pay grade these people are. Elon Musk is, Mark Zuckerberg is, Donald Trump is. They really don't appreciate it. That's why he brought these people in, because they're some of the only people that think like him. So yeah, like Stephen Colbert, alright, him I'd be fine with, because again, he's informed, he talks about this stuff. You know? Again, even Fox News anchors, yeah, they hear about it, now they defend Trump, but they know better. They know what the truth is. Tucker Carlson, that guy can go fuck himself. Like, that guy can go fuck off. Tucker Carlson's literally just a complete, utter fucking liar. Guy literally bullshits half the things he says. That dude's a haircut. That dude literally just learned how to put makeup on his face and give himself a Justin Bieber hairstyle. And the old women and all the old fucking people just love the fucking shit out of that guy. That's his entire demographic, is just old women. And that's it. That's why he has so many ratings and so many people fucking listen to him. Yeah, he's the biggest scammer of the media market. Fucking Justin Bieber hair. Anyway, Tucker Carlson's... Don't listen to that guy. Literally, it's about 50% of what he says is fucking bullshit. Stephen Colbert will literally tell you the truth, make a joke out of the truth, and then you look up the joke, and the joke is true. Like most of the time, that's the case. Like, I actually looked the joke up, like, oh my god, it wasn't even a fucking joke. It was the truth. He made comedy out of something. Jon Stewart. If you elected Jon Stewart as president of the United States, we would probably have world peace. Like, I don't even know. I can't even tell you a more perfect person for president of the United States than the guy who sits here and for fucking 2 decades literally gives himself to Congress, gets in front of Congress early in the fucking morning. Early in the morning, he's an actor, he doesn't have to fucking do this, yet he's down there every goddamn day, early in the morning, begging Congress to not let Trump stop the benefits for the 9/11 firefighters. Because Trump did that too. He stopped their benefits. He stopped things that were saving their lives, helping them get health benefits and stuff, now that they had all these problems from fighting these fires. And Trump was trying to stop that, and meanwhile, every single day, day in and day out, Jon Stewart was there, fighting with Congress on their behalf, trying to get them to realize the dangers of this, using his name, dragging his name through the mud, because again, that's not good for an actor to do that. That guy deserves to be president of the United States. That guy deserves to be anything he wants to fucking be, because he proved what he's doing with his life is literally to help people and just coming from the heart. There's nothing about that man except goodness. He literally proved he was there every second of every day that he could be there in front of Congress, fighting to keep firefighters' benefits, because again, Trump was ripping them away. Trying to take them away, and other Republicans were trying to take them away from firefighters that deserved to have them from the 9/11 attacks, and he was there doing that. And talk about a guy that's really informed. He's literally the host. Nobody wanted anybody else. They kept having host. Nobody was nearly as good. It was always Jon Stewart. And they didn't even start with Jon Stewart either. They just, he came on after the fact. Yeah, that's the point. It was always Jon Stewart. Yeah, he came on after the fact, and he was still good. The point is, how do you do something? You know, everybody always remembers the first guy is the best. Not with Jon, not with this, not with the Daily Show, not with Jon Stewart. That's the point. That's how fucking good that guy is. That's how smart he is. That's how informed he is. That's how honest he is. That's a good American. He's sitting in here and he's giving you left. You can sit here and hear the middle of the road. He's not even like pandering to Democrats. He gives it to them too. It's just, again, we agree that most of the time the Democrats are the only ones making sense anymore. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I was watching him last night, and he was like giving it to Schumer because, again, he's like he turns, he's like, okay, Democrats, he's like, look, can you stop trotting Schumer out there, please? Because this is the point. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Stop putting the oldest fucking guy on the planet as your number. Like, I told you, Pete Buttigieg, Pete fucking Buttigieg a million times, and you're just like, Schumer. I keep telling you, Pete Buttigieg is the fucking guy, and again, here we go. Jon Stewart's giving it to you now. And Schumer was out there with his fucking glasses, his old man glasses pulled down to his nose, and he was like talking to you, trying to tell you, yeah, your avocado dip is gonna cost more because of what Trump's doing. And again, like, I love what John was saying. The point is, yeah, this old fucking guy from the Democrats is who they're picking. And again, all he has to say is your avocado dip is going to be more expensive. Like, come on. Come on. Oh my god. Stupid as fucking hell. Can hire me? Hire me? Hire me? I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll get out there and I'll tell them exactly why. And I'll use real information and evidence too. And I won't look like an old fart holding avocado dip. I'll tell them exactly why. And trust me, it won't be with using avocado dip. And I won't have my old man glasses down. No. It'll be much easier than that. No. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to do it, of course. Because, again, that gives it to them. So then they'll just use it. Yeah, like that would be stupid. Yeah, like, that's the point. Like, I can do it. But you're going to have to hire me. So, either do or don't. But like, that's the point. Is like, you need young guys. You can't have these fucking old people that have been in the government forever that people think are super corrupt. When really it's not even them. They know how it works and they really are just trying to help. They're just fucking old. That's it. They just look bad. It's just like Nancy Pelosi. Like, anybody who's gonna believe her, like, she just looks bad, you know. It's like, no, like, there really wasn't anything that, like, again, like, there's actually quite a number of times where she stopped Trump from doing something that would have been bad. It's like, she didn't really, you know what I mean? Like, she was actually pretty decent, I think, in her position. But then, like, people just have this negative opinion of her because, like, again, she just looks old and she just has these eyes, you know. She always looks greasy and looks she's wearing a shitload of makeup. And so, like, the point is, it's annoying because, like, that's the image. That's the literal image. But meanwhile, I see her as a nice old lady. Just trying to help. Because that's how I see her. But, like, people don't do that. People don't see a person. They see a government official. They do. That's why you need me. And again, I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to do it. I'll give you a hint if you want. I'll give you a hint. There's a certain PA, a certain Pennsylvania representative doing it right. It's the only hint you got. It's the only hint you got. He's doing it right. It's pretty sad too, actually. Trump hasn't done anything except gotten rid of things, which is what I said. So like those orders and stuff, just got rid of some stuff again. This is all of Trump. And again, this costs money. You think getting rid of transgenders in sports is helps with cost? No. It's less people in sports. It's less culture. It's effectively just stupid. Would I ever be a politician? I probably wouldn't call myself that. If I were a politician, I don't know if I'd even call myself that. Would I be an elected official like a senator, somebody like that? Probably not. Senator, governor? Probably not. If somebody paid me to be a spokesperson, I would do that. But you can't, like, I want a clause in that contract that says you can't, like, whatever I'm gonna say, you need to trust that I'm gonna say it a certain way, and you can't, you know what I mean, you can't say later that you know, have a problem with it or something like that. You need to just let it go. Like, that would be the only thing with that, because, like, I guarantee you the way I'm gonna say it, people are gonna think it's bad. Like, this is the point. The Democrats are so stupid with this. They think it's bad to say these. No. The Republican voters want you to say certain things, and they're waiting for you to be real. You're not doing it. So this is the point. You look like a bunch of fucking wusses and pussies to these people. You look like a bunch of fucking, you just roll over. No. This is what Trump does, where essentially he doesn't look like that, and that's the one thing he does. That's it. That's literally all Trump has. The moment he loses that, he loses all credibility. He knows it. So just fucking, like, how hard is this, man? It's not that hard. It really isn't. I can look easily stronger than Trump. Mentally. Easily. Get me into a debate with him. I promise. I'll win any debate against Trump. Hands down. I'll probably win it in fucking first few seconds. I mean, it literally is not that hard. The man's really stupid. Like, people think no, he's not. He's not that smart. Somebody that sits here and endlessly thinks about how to take advantage of people and use people and thinks in cliches and stuff, he's not that smart. Well, you can use him. That's it. Everybody's using him. That's the point. He's being used by Russia and all these other people. He's not doing anything for himself. Like, just like when he takes a vacation, like, you know, it's like, is he actually doing that, or is he avoiding something? MSNBC just fired that black lady news anchor. Would you be a news anchor? I don't. They would have to fix my teeth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there would be a lot of stuff that they wouldn't like. Would I be a news anchor, though? Yeah. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that. That would be cool. I could do that. I wanted to, I could do a talk show. You know, like these talk show hosts and stuff, they come up with bits, comedy skits. Like, that's the stuff, I could actually do that. Because, like, I can come up with, like, jokes, and I can come up with, talking points, and I can come up with, interview questions, and, you know, I'm informed. Yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff that those guys, they get paid a lot of money, and they are informed, and they are who they are, because, again, they're some of the smartest people on the planet. They really are. You know, some people really hate these guys because, again, the point is they hate them because they can't discredit them. Like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, even Letterman back in the day, you know. The point is, like, all these guys got to where they got to because they were the top actors. They were the ones that they were so fucking good. They could just endlessly come up with ideas, smart ideas, perplexing questions for, you know, people they're interviewing. Like, this is the point. Like, it's not, you know, like, not just anybody could do that job. So that's kind of the point, is, like, these are the people that you can listen to. They're really well educated usually, too. They went to college. Very literate people. They have to write entire monologues every show. Very long segments of dialogue that talks about politics and informing, and, like, to actually think these people are the ones that aren't informed. No. It's you. It's you doing that. These people fucking get up every day and inform themselves for their jobs. You get up and fucking clock in. Give me a break. What would I name my talk show? Well, that would all depend. Is it my show? Or is it somebody else's? What's the show about? I mean, I think that depends. It would be the same. Like, I wouldn't want to do it without being funny. You know, like these guys do. Politics is such a serious tone, and people are so serious with it. I would want to do it the same way, like comedy, because you just can't do it any other way. You're gonna drive yourself crazy. You have to laugh. You have to, if you're gonna do that. Well, I mean, like, most talk shows have the person's name in it. Sifu's, Sifu's Comedy Hour. No, it's not gonna be that. Because I'm not that funny. Late Night with Sifu. I did that for a while. I did, like, late stream. I love Jon Stewart, though. He's probably the best one. Him and John Oliver. Probably the best ones. Seth Meyers is really good, too. Seth Meyers is really good. Like, that guy was so good on SNL sketches that he got the job. You understand that's how that happened? He took over Chevy Chase. You know, like, nobody could do the Weekend Update quite like Chevy Chase, right? Like, other people various times kept taking it over. But Seth Meyers really took it over. And he was so damn funny for so long. And it was just like, I would also accept the fact that, like, this guy is the ratings for the night. Like, everybody started watching then, you know? And the network kind of got the clue, I think. I think the network kind of got the clue that that guy is worth a lot more than a job on SNL. No discredit to SNL. SNL's amazing. Love SNL. But, you know, like, that's the point. They build people. They make people what they are, you know? They give them an outlet to figure out who they're going to end up being in that market. And Seth Meyers, whew, one of the best. So funny. Do you like The View? Can't say that I watch it. I know what it is, though. Can't say that I watch it. I think that's the women more watch that, don't they? I guess like obviously anybody can watch it, but I think that's more women watch that, right? Am I right about that? The View. You know what girly show I did watch over the years, though? And I'll tell anybody it's a good show, and you know, it's like admitting to liking. I don't care who knows that I like Nickelback. What's wrong with Nickelback? There's nothing wrong with it. It's such a good band. Such a good band. Nothing wrong with it. Continue to normalize that. Such a good band. I've been talking about this for a while, and I think finally people are starting to kind of get the clue. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Nickelback. What the hell's wrong with Nickelback? There's nothing. Literally nothing. Desperate Housewives. Great show. I swear to God, great show. I swear to God. I swear to God. It's a murder mystery. I swear to God. Like, you have to be really open-minded to watch it, but you will be hooked, and it's so fucking funny. And it has a full all-star cast of women. Like, Terry Hatcher is in it, too. But then you have, like, all these guys. Scott Bakula showed up for the final season for some cameo appearances for this character he's playing, too. And there's, like, all these actors that showed up throughout the history of the show for, you know, to play roles and stuff like that. And Eva Longoria was on the show, too. She's phenomenal. Plenty of people on that show that were great. And oh my God, it's actually incredible. It's actually, like, you think it's gonna be so cheesy. You really do. But then, no lie, the show starts, you think, all right, hear me out. Desperate Housewives, like, it was actually on around the same time House MD was, so to date it. And so it starts off, and you're like, there's this perfect suburban family, yada yada yada. Everything's correct. Everything's yada yada yada. There's this great family. So then, why is it, you know, like she's like a narrator. She's like a wife and stuff like that, and she's narrating this. And she has a son. She has a husband, and everything's perfect. And you're like, yeah, yada yada. And then she goes, so then why is it that I took a revolver out of the box, put it in my mouth, and pulled the trigger? And I'm just like, wait a minute, what? First episode? Okay, here we go. Yep, here we go. And the whole fucking show from then on is about that. Like, why did she kill herself? And then, like, there's, like, a note in the mailbox, and, like, there's all these, like, mysteries, and, like, and then you start finding out, like, a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there, and every season there's a new mystery. This goes on for 8 seasons, and every season there's a new mystery. There's a new, like, a new guy for the women or something like that. And that's fine because they're always good actors. They're always playing a really cool role, and it's always a cool character. I loved Mike Delfino. I feel bad because I can't remember the guy's name that plays him because I loved his character so much and how he played him so much. I remember him as Mike Delfino because he was that good at playing that role. I remember Carlos, too. I remember him as Carlos too, because he was that good as the role. Like these characters were just phenomenal. The guy from Dune. Who's the guy from Dune? The guy who plays her dad in Fallout. You know the Fallout show? He's in it. He's in it as the husband. The one husband. He's in the show too. The guy that played like the original the original Dune. What the hell's his name? Yeah, Dune, but 84. Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan's in it. Yeah, like just phenomenal show. Like literally, it's a mystery. In each season, there's a new mystery, and sometimes a new bad guy shows up. Like the one time they actually had a mayor that was like the bad guy basically, and he was causing problems and stuff like that. And like it's not always the same thing either. There was like there's some drama too. Like one of the dudes, you know, he got, you know, like eventually on the show, I think it's like season 3, you find out he's gay instead of just, and it's like, damn, there's some real character development here, and so like, you know, like just there's some funny stuff that happens with that then too, and then like just like again, the whole show is actually really fucking good. It's really fucking good. And so like again, if you want a show that helps you cross over a little bit, you want to kind of like be cultured, you don't know how, start watching this stuff. That's how I did it, man. I literally just accepted other cultures. I literally just accepted that yeah, women and gay guys and stuff like that watch other stuff and do other things, so I'm gonna do that too. And not think it's gay and not think it's weird and stuff like that. And that's all. So yeah, I liked these things and I watched these things. I didn't have any hang-ups about them. Damn good fucking show. Damn good show. I actually teared up on the last episode because of, well, one of the characters I actually mentioned. I'm not gonna ruin it for you. I'm gonna ruin it for you, but it was pretty sad. Good show. Very, very good show. Conclusion and everything. No, really, really good. Comedy, it's a dramedy is what it is. It's a mystery, it's a dramedy. No, dude, trust me. Oh, and Tom and Lynette Scavo. They're my favorite couple. Because they're the comedy relief. They're the normal couple. Like there's like the rich couple, there's the yuppie family, there's like Terry Hatcher that's sort of kind of like in between. She's sort of kind of like, you know, like the artsy one. And it's great. And so, you know, they have Lynette and Tom that are like the normal couple, and they have like 4 kids or something like that. They have 2 twins, and they get to see them grow up through the show, and it's the same, like they do hire like different actors at a certain point, but that's the same actors then, like they keep the same actors throughout, and they're good actors, and like again, like the dynamic between Tom, the Scavos, and like I loved the whole show. It was such a good show. It was so funny. I mean, stuff like that always, like, you know, I always wondered if I should have been a writer, you know, and that's why I started talking about, like, well, yeah, I could do a talk show. You're like, essentially, where, like, I want to write these shows and stuff like that, where, no, it's more like, I want to talk about stuff, and it's more like I want to ask questions and inform people, and then talk about how I feel about stuff, too. So it's more like, yeah, talk show type of thing. And, but yeah, anyway, Um, if you know there was an end goal or something like that, you know, with the content or something, yeah, that would definitely be cool. Like, obviously, you guys know I like to talk about games and stuff, but you guys know I always sat here and talked about movies and shows and stuff when I was streaming and stuff too. So, here, let's see what it's on. It's free? Oh, it's on a free service now? That's so cool. Oh, yeah. James Denton played Mike Delfino. James Denton, that's his name. I wanted to say his name because he's such a good actor. I think he's really good. I think he's really good. I think he played that character so well. And obviously, like Marcia Cross and Terry Hatcher and like all of them, like they're super good, obviously, but the guys were good too. But yeah, like obviously the show was more about like the cast of women. It was them, obviously, just following their lives. So like obviously some of the guys would come in and out. Oh yes, and there was Edie. I forgot about Edie. Edie was an interesting character. So it's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. I think you can get it on Disney Plus with a subscription, it says, and it's on Prime with a subscription. You can also apparently buy it on YouTube or on Apple TV, on Fandango. And it's apparently on... Do a Google search, because one of those I think is free. But it's probably ads. So I'm not going to say the free one, but like do the Google search. If it's available for you, you'll be able to see it. This is actually really good. The fact that like I can look this up. I'm looking at Desperate Housewives right now on Google. The fact that right now it's still at like an 88% Google users like this and 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, that long after it finished. This came out in 2004. That's incredible. Not like that it's a good show. For it to stay there, 7.6 out of 10, it's always going to go down. You understand that? Like, it'll never go up as time goes on. That's never the case. It always, things just drop down a little bit. Really good stuff might go back up, but it's very rare. It will always go down no matter what. Yeah, like the most perfect show, even like, remember Breaking Bad, right? Like the most highly rated show of all time, most watched show of all time. Even that like dropped down a little bit as time went on. Like the point is, it's always just gonna happen. But for it to still sit at a 72% of Rotten Tomatoes, 7.6 out of 10, 88% of liked this TV show. Google users. That's incredible. Actually, that's incredible. That's really good show. And this is the point, like, I'll bet almost nobody watched it just because it says Desperate Housewives. So almost no guys probably watched it just because chick show, you know. Meanwhile, it's a good show. It's genuinely super funny. It is genuinely super funny. Doug Savant, he was cool. He played Tom Scavo. Yeah, just seeing their faces again, it's cool. Yeah, like the guys that played the twins were actual like twins too. They were twin actors. And they've done other things. Yeah, great show. Anyway. I'm a little bit hungry, I think. Thanks for letting me rant about Desperate Housewives. I know, like, we're talking about politics, and I started just talking about Desperate Housewives. Good show, though. It really is. It really is a good show. My favorite show of all time is Quantum Leap, the original Quantum Leap, with Scott Bakula, Dean Stockwell, from the 80s. That was my favorite show of all time. I watched every episode. I loved it. I just wish it would have ended a little bit happier. I wish there was more of a clear ending. I wish they wouldn't have done what they did with it. Arguably my other favorite show ever, the other one that's like really it's a tough second place. It doesn't even really fall second. It's just sort of kind of on par with it, and that's Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is such a phenomenal show and timeless show, and you have timeless life lessons to be learned from this. And I love it. I love how good every single person was. Like, essentially each character had some sort of character development storyline, and then also like proved on camera in front of you that they deserved that position, that they were honorable, that they and they weren't just any other character. Like, they stood their own. They had their own personality and their own little clique of friends and stuff like that. Like, the show was freaking so good. It wasn't a nerdy show at all. It just, people didn't give it a chance. So that show, that show's at a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. After how long? 93% of Google users like this? For that long? To be that good? 1987 it came out? This is a top show of all time. This is a top show of all time. And I also grew up watching, many of you know, I think LeVar Burton, right? His name's LeVar Burton, right? I grew up watching Reading Rainbow. And, he was on as Geordi. And so I would watch Reading Rainbow and then just watch that. It was like kind of funny, because I think at one point one came on and then the other came on too. My favorite was always Data. I fucking love Data. I loved what they did with his character development. I loved that. Yeah, like like he had to act. There was this one episode like where Q actually gave him a gift, and that was amazing. It was so funny and it was so genuine. He nailed it too. Such top level acting, such top level everything. And the funny thing is, you hear the stories about the filming of the show. They wonder how they even got it done. They said they had so much fun doing the show, such a good cast of friends and stuff like that they don't even know how they got anything done. And like, that's the point. It's like, when you have fun and you make a good show, you're making a good one. That's the point. It's not a bunch of drama. And over the years, I loved watching the Next Generation movies. I can't even think of a single movie that I didn't like. Originally, as they were coming out, I fell victim to the stupid propaganda other people were doing. No, that one was terrible or something like that, where like you weren't a fan if you liked certain movies or something. I shouldn't have done that. I liked them all. Yeah, like I literally had nothing. There was nothing bad about any of the Next Generation movies. I liked all of them. I even like Nemesis was my favorite. Even with what happened with Data and all that, like Data being my favorite, Nemesis was my favorite. Like that's the point. Like I don't understand why people hated that so. People hated it so much because they couldn't part with that. That was what they hated. They couldn't accept it. They actually just wanted him to keep playing the role that he was clearly too old to fucking play. And so, like, they clearly made a decision on this, and just the fans were unhappy. And no, they had the balls to go forward with the decision. That's all it was. And, no, bravo. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Like, that's what you do, right? That's what you do. You know, he can't play. He can't. Data doesn't age. He's an android. So Brent Spiner ages, okay? He's gonna start looking wrong in the part. I honestly thought he wanted somebody else to play Data, and they wanted, you know, maybe do a completely separate timeline, a new cast of Next Generation, but different actors that look slightly different. I thought that would have been kind of cool, the alternate timeline or something like that, but you know, and then like they could like meet up at some point or something, but they didn't. I think Voyager kind of ended up doing this sort of, but not really. They just sort of kind of like coincided with their because it was like at the same time period. So, I started watching Picard though, and I haven't finished it. I'll be honest with you, I haven't finished it. I need to just finish it. I liked what I saw so far. I know, like, I guess it was a mixed sort of review process for Picard. Jean-Luc Picard is probably one of my favorite characters, like, period, in, like, anything. He's the guy that can answer any problem. He's the guy that when faced with an absolutely impossible scenario, like literally like no chance of survival, no chance of escape, this is what his training does. It's literally what he is trained to do. He is trained to get out of like these scenarios, and that's what a good captain does. That's the point. That's why he is what he is, and that's how he was able to get out of this. That was the whole point, was like the show, in my opinion. Now I love the original show, but like in my opinion, like the Next Generation did more justice to what Starfleet should have looked like as far as training a captain, because in the original show, Kirk would just leave the ship and be stuck on a planet, and that would never actually happen. You know what I mean? Like, the point is, like, in Next Generation, there were so many times where, like, Picard was there, and there's, like, fucking, they're outgunned, right? They're completely outgunned. There's Romulans, there's all these, there's tensions. There's a war about to start right here, right now. And Picard settles it somehow. He settles the dispute. No war starts. And nobody dies. And everybody leaves. And somehow they were outgunned. There was 5 ships. All these people were arming their weapons. And somehow he just talks his way out of it. And it's not what you think either. It's not like what does he make people face their feelings or something? No, nothing bullshit like that. We're not talking about some bullshit. We're talking about some real tactics. We're talking about real strategy, and he fucking does it, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant writing. It's like really what would happen. It's kind of genius. It's like, holy shit. If you're really in space and it's really happening, it's probably what would happen. It's probably exactly what you'd do. Holy fucking shit, somebody sat there and thought of this. And, like, every episode's like that. It's that fucking good. It's not a nerd show, ultimate nerd show, though. Like an everybody nerd show. Not like tape the glasses nerd. No, it really isn't. It's not like that. It really isn't. This is the show everybody should have been watching, so that we could have evolved. Because the point is, you will learn endless life lessons from trying to be more like a Starfleet officer. If everybody wanted to be Starfleet officers and always aspired to be a Starfleet officer, we would have no problems. Absolutely none. We would have world fucking peace. I can almost guarantee it. Some of the things you would disagree with is again, like some of the stuff we see in Picard, where you'd have people that are spies and stuff in incorrect positions they shouldn't be, and stuff like that. So that's the only time is like the political thing, and then there's more of us to do something about it, because again, there's more of us thinking like Starfleet officers, being selfless, thinking about those things, doing something about it. Good show. It's a good show. You can learn invaluable lessons. You can't put a price on it. It's true. Life lessons, even just from a show. True. For example, I love that they had the android, Data. Essentially, he's perfect and everything. He can do so many things. He literally, they to talk even on the show multiple times about and he even kind of it sounds like he's bragging, but he's not. He's just stating the fact. Like, he is more capable than a human being. Period. End of discussion. And this comes up a lot, yet he always aspires to try to be more human because it's his program. So it was just so cool to see that, and I love that they gave the android a cat. At some point he just has a cat and it's his pet cat, but he's an android. He doesn't have feelings, yet he has a pet cat. He's petting this cat, and so it's just. The point is, he's trying, and you see that little tiny glimmer of what it means to be human, and sort of dancing on that with AI, and you see it in this very advanced sort of, way of thinking about it. But, it's true. And it's cool to think about it like that. And, you start realizing, holy shit. You start realizing what sentient is. Start realizing what it is, and kind of humanizes you a little bit. But yeah, anyway, great show. Love the cast. I mean, again, Patrick Stewart, you can't go wrong. But Brent Spiner, again, Data was my favorite. I love Jonathan Frakes too. Riker was phenomenal. But all of them. Michael Dorn was great. I mean, Worf was awesome too. All of them are really, really good. Love that show. Then you have Will Wheaton as Wesley, of course, that would show up. He would show up on Big Bang a lot, right? Yeah, Big Bang would talk about Star Trek a lot. I just don't... I actually don't agree with them, and that's kind of the point. I think, the actors themselves, some of them, they actually weren't nerds, right? That's kind of the point. They were fans of the band, right? But they weren't, nerds of, actual like Star Trek and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the time when the actors would come on the show, they actually didn't even it wasn't, you know what I mean, it wasn't as big of a starstruck moment as I think we would like to have hoped it would have been. Will Wheaton was a pretty regular, I think, on the show. He was Sheldon's arch nemesis. I gotta be honest, I really wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they would have just made him a nice guy. because I think he actually had problems in real life because they did that and they used his real name in the show. And then, like, this is the point. People can't understand it's just a show, you know. And meanwhile, nobody watched The Next Generation. Those people clearly didn't watch Next Generation. Otherwise, they would know what kind of character Wesley was. Like, the point was Wesley was a really, really fucking smart... Like, he was smarter than everybody on the ship, basically. That was the point. Wesley was always smart, but he was just an ensign. He wasn't technically a Starfleet officer. The only reason he was on that ship was because he was taking classes and he was learning in real time. So because he was so good with the positions, he would just fill those roles because he was really fucking smart. So constantly, like, Wesley would suggest something, and, like, it was, like, a really, really heated situation and stuff like that, and nobody's figuring out what's going on, and Wesley would suggest something, but it's really tense, and Picard is trying to consider real options, and he can't listen to it, so he just goes, shut up, Wesley. So it just became a thing that people, I think, didn't understand. And it literally wasn't a pick on Wes. It was literally because he was so smart and they were ignoring him. It was just the heat of the moment. But finally, once they listened to what he was saying, he had the answer. And Picard very slowly started to recognize Wesley. That was the point. He had a really tough job of trying to give credit to officers. Like, the point is, the officer's going to feel a certain way about an ensign looking better than them. Because trust me, they went through a lot of training. Honestly, great show to do that type of a scenario, to show the actual drama of the dynamic of the character and how it would actually be. Because it really would be like that. It really would be. He would say that, he would act that way, and it would be tough for him to listen to it right then and right there. And sometimes you might need to, you know? And so, yeah, like, sometimes that actually did happen. It was pretty cool. Pretty funny to see. So, yeah, Wesley was actually a very valuable member of the crew. He was the son of the main doctor. Yeah, he was Wesley Crusher. Remember Dr. Crusher? Yeah, yeah, he was the son of Dr. Crusher. Which, you know, like, there was a... She was great. When the other one came on the show... No, she did a good job. The other lady did a good job and stuff. Played the role. I thought she did a really, really good job acting in the role and everything else. But the fans wanted Crusher back. Trust me. When she left for a very small period of time, it was like, oh no, you don't take the doctor from the ship. Yeah, no, she was really, really good. They all were. That's the point. You couldn't remove any of them. You couldn't. They all stayed on the show, like, all the way through. And the whole point was that even Jonathan Frakes, Riker, his character was so strong in that position. They even talked about the dynamic about how, like, generals and stuff kept offering Riker a captain position because he was so damn good. You know, like, that's the point. They even kept doing it. Riker's just like, nah. Nope. You know, just like... So, like, the point is the reality of the show would show itself. Like, like people would, you know, like, that's a real thing, you know, like, I love that. Like, just, you know, like, these little tiny things coming up here and there to show character development of each person, and it's not just, there's one problem, that's the whole show, start, finish, the end. It's not very interesting, then. You know, a lot of the time this show starts off in 10 Forward. In 10 Forward, if you know what 10 Forward is, that's their lounge. They're all hanging out, drinking their blue drinks with their goofy shit, hanging out at, talking, shooting the shit. You know, talking about some fucking random race of people and stuff like that. You know, it's just like a hilarious conversation. Or that, or you know, they're in the holodeck, and you, like, you know, like, they're all dressed up and riding horses around and stuff like that. It looks like they're outside, like, chilling in a western or something like that, and then they get paged, like, Captain, you're needed on the bridge. And then he's like, You know, he has to respond or something. He's like end program, and then the whole thing just like fades to nothing, and he just walks through a door. You know, like stuff like that was always really cool. Was you know, like just showing how diverse the show and how cool the show was able to be at various times, versus other Star Trek shows. You know, other Star Trek shows are great too. Strange New World's phenomenal. Love the show. Yeah, I mean, like they're good shows. But Next Generation, you can't. There's nothing to beat it. You won't. Nothing will beat it. It is the show, and that's why, because it just stood the test of time. Everybody just realized at a certain point, yeah, this was it. The right cast, the right writing, the right stories, the right time. Were the characters on Big Bang Theory autistic? No. What? Actually, that's actually a good point. Sheldon, arguably Sheldon had Asperger's. Arguably. But like they didn't talk about that, and they didn't like say it like that on the show. So no. Technically no. But if you were yeah, you would arguably say he has Asperger's, yeah. No, they didn't. No, they're all just really smart. No, they're MIT. I think is it MIT? I think it's MIT, right? I forget what university. They all work for a university, and they're all like super smart. That's it. And they're just friends that hang out, and then like their neighbor Penny is like you know, like the really attractive girl next door, basically. And so like that's the point, like that's the dynamic of the show, and they you know, like they just can't handle that, obviously. And it's just funny to watch nerds be uncomfortable with regular things. So that's a lot of the show, and the humor is essentially them going back to being nerds at the end of the day, you know, like Halo Night and stuff like that. So the theme song is Bare Naked Ladies. If you guys know Bare Naked Ladies, I know the band. I know the name of the band is funny, but like if you don't know the band, they're a band from, you know, like the 90s. We all grew up with them. It's All Been Done. It's been, you know, like the song One Week and all that. Plenty of songs and stuff, but they did the song for The Big Bang Theory. A great song. A lot of people liked that. And but you know, the show was really good. It was on for quite a number of seasons, and you know, brought a lot of characters from Star Trek and other shows on it over the years, for cameos, to essentially ogle over them and great, you know, like I love I think Leonard Nimoy was on there, right, and so like just getting those actors on there and stuff like that, you know, before they passed and stuff, because Leonard Nimoy unfortunately passed away, so you know, and the annoying thing is, like, you know, like, well, William Shatner, like, people don't realize, like, Leonard Nimoy looked old, but William Shatner is a year older than Leonard Nimoy, and he's still alive. Like, that's the point, like, you know, like, it's unfortunate to lose people that are, you know, like he was such a nice person, and I loved Spock, I loved Leonard Nimoy. I loved the Star Trek remake movie with Chris Pine. Loved that. It was so good, and Leonard Nimoy came back to actually play Spock. So good. It seems like some of the smartest people have autism. I just have bipolar. Yeah, autism, that's what autism is. Sometimes. It's actually what it is. Sometimes people can use more parts of that section of their brain, but then they can't use, like, you know, like normal parts of their brain, like essentially like you know, like the motor function and stuff, or they're all socially awkward, sort of like speech impediments, like Elon, for example. Elon highly intelligent individual, but clearly has a speech impediment. I mean, he has Asperger's, like, there's no question. And, you know, like, he clearly has a speech impediment that he's dealt with and stuff. It's the ability to think past what you're saying. Most highly intelligent people, like, the point is their mind's just racing. They have all these ideas, and they're trying to get it out, they're trying to say it, and their mind's like 10 ideas past what they're talking about now. That's what it's like. It's like that. So that can be Asperger's. It just depends, but I mean, that's not everybody. I'm getting kind of hungry though. I appreciate you hanging out with me, Chelsea. hanging out for the whole stream. I really appreciate that. Chatting out some stuff today, talking about some culture, talking about some politics today. Today was just a whole stream. We got informed today though. Today was a good, informing day. You know, I told you guys about some good shows, but we also got informed about what's going on. You know, if you're gonna watch The Next Generation, don't watch it out of order. This is what people do. They watch it out of order and they don't understand the character development. Don't do that. Star Trek The Next Generation is not a show you should watch out of order. The problem is the Trekkies will tell you can. Don't listen. The Trekkies will tell you can because they like it for what it is. They like it as a sci-fi show. No, most people will not be able to watch it like that. You want to watch it for the drama, for the character development, the stories. Watch it in order. Because there really is a character development where these people really do feel a certain way about each other from one episode to the next. They talk about various things that have happened. There's a whole period of time. I'm sure you've heard about this or even seen it in images, so it's not like a spoiler or anything like that. There is a whole block of like 3 episodes or so, I think. And it was one of the most watched episodes at the time, maybe even watched shows, period, at the time, where Picard gets taken by the Borg and becomes Borg. And now he is, unfortunately, against the Enterprise, and they have to figure that out. They gotta figure that shit out. That is not something you want to randomly see out of fucking context. This is what I'm saying, is like, why would you watch that out of so randomly Picard's just Locutus now, and you're like, huh? I thought he was captain of the Enterprise. No, like, the point is you don't want to show up too on the random episode where they beam down to a planet and there's nothing but black. Like, this is a true sci-fi show. Like, this is genius. Like, they beam down to a planet, it's just black, and it's Riker and them, and then they just walk through these doors, and all of a sudden they lose all communication with the ship as soon as they do. But now, they're in a casino. And again, there was nothing on the planet. It was just black. So they walk into this casino, and they're just in a casino. Everybody's having a good time, and there's something alluring about it. They want to, like, enjoy themselves. They just feel good for some reason. And they try to, like, communicate, and they can't. They try to leave, and they just re-enter. They leave, and they end up re-entering. It's that crazy. And so they just start realizing they're not exactly where they appear to be. You know what I mean? Like, not everything is exactly the way it should be. And so, like, again, like, the point is, that would seem like a really random, weird episode to show up with. Just randomly watching an episode of Star Trek, you just see the whole crew randomly in a fucking casino, and the ship can't communicate with them. Yeah, great episode, but again, you'd want the character development, you'd want a storyline, you'd want some more normal episodes first to lead up to this point. You want to just start with that? No, I don't think you would. I don't think you'd want to start with that one. And the first season, in my opinion, there were a few little weird things they did with Data that they ignored. They fixed, I should say, later. So you have to realize they did sort of like fixed some things with that, with the writing a little bit in the first season with Data, but after that first season, they ignored it. They just literally fixed it. From then on, it was perfect. They didn't even bother trying to go back to the way it was. And so, like, you even noticed that he had more, like, makeup on his face and stuff after, like, the first few episodes. Because, like, he wasn't even, at first, like, there was just some things that it was kind of obvious to tell, like, the actors didn't know how long the show was going to last. It was almost like nobody knew how it was going to evolve and become this big thing. And then it did. And then they changed their tone and made a damn good show. And it was still good in the beginning, too. But I just wanted to warn you a little bit. Like, if you had nitpick about that, I wouldn't. Because, again, it didn't really bother me. It was still a good show, good starting point. And knowing that it was just a low budget, that's why they probably did that. And that's why those things happen. So mistakes happen when you have a low budget. So obviously the success changed things, and it went on ahead and kept being successful and kept being awesome. One hell of a show. I think it was one hell of a show. Like, how, you know? Man. You like Baby Yoda? From The Mandalorian? Well, you know he's not actually Yoda, right? Yeah. From The Mandalorian. Mandalorian's good. I can't wait for this show that's, I need to look into it. Is it out yet? I haven't been on Disney Plus for a while. I need to get caught up on some Star Wars stuff. And, like, Obi-Wan was amazing. Obi-Wan was phenomenal. I was so happy with Obi-Wan. I was so happy to finally see Obi-Wan fight Anakin in his prime and show what he could do. I love that. I love that. It was like obvious that, like, there was times in Star Wars, like essentially, like, that's what I liked that they did about that, where it was kind of obvious, like, Obi-Wan was kind of, like, letting him go. Like, it was obvious that, like, he was stronger at various points, and he just kind of gave him too many chances, you know what I mean? Like, here, here, and here. And I like that. I like that they did that. But I love that they're gonna do a Cal Kestis show. I love that he's getting his own thing and everything, because he deserves it. Really deserves it. Especially after that dumpster fire second game. I mean, again, the story was great. Nothing wrong with the story. It's just the optimization of the game ruined everything. You can't, if it can't play the game and enjoy the game, you don't have a game. I'm sorry. Like, when people are half and half on something's going on. That's all. When people are half and half on something's going on. Or, like, the other half just doesn't, like, it's not happening to them, that's all. You know what I mean? Like, they play the game, it just for some reason doesn't happen with them, you know? Anyway. I think I'm good. I think we're done talking about this stuff. I wasn't feeling too great earlier. Still not the greatest, but hopefully it's getting a little better. I should probably eat something. I should probably do that. So I should probably get off here and do that. I love Star Trek though. Next Generation, I do. Senate hearing on Doge. That's what I'm looking at now. Is Elon there? He better be. Well, we talked about a lot. We talked about Chinese police stations in the U.S. We talked about informing, you know, being informed, trying to, you know, see both sides of things. We talked about that guy who was exercising his right to, you know, the punter from the Vikings who was exercising his right to protest, which I agreed with in the end. You know, again, I laughed at it at first, just like a lot of other people probably would, but again, I backpedaled and said, now let's take a look at this. So again, just remind yourself that I did do that. I can reasonably do that too, and look at something correctly and take myself back a little bit and look at it and say, all right, I was wrong to laugh at it. He's in the right. I completely understand. I get that he's complaining about just a plaque, but realize what he's saying and how far we've come to talk about the, you know, essentially what is going on and what we have noticed and how bad it is getting. So the point is, yeah, I've been saying this stuff too, and I'm irritated too because I see it too. And finally somebody's speaking up. Finally somebody's actually doing something. We need to see more of that. That's the point. So, appreciate him, and I appreciate the outlets for reporting that. And also, we got informed about apparently another shooting at a hospital. This is awful. You know, again, like, I know I was saying why and stuff. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, like, I'm interested to hear the motive, obviously, but it doesn't matter. It's fucked up. Like, obviously, like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Period, period, period. Does not matter. It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. And, need to definitely see more of that. And like I said, I think it starts with education. First educating guns. Well, first educating, you know, like essentially educating like violence, like essentially like how to avoid conflict with your friends, how to like be friendly and relationships and stuff like that with people. That needs to be in education. We need to teach people how to interact with each other. And then, you know, at a certain point, like I said, as they become more mature, take them on field trips. Take them to a shooting range. You know, actually do those things where they're being educated and they're being allowed to explore that avenue and you know, do that. And you know, like that's where the education needs to happen. Why are we shifting the bit rate around when I talk about gun education? The very second that I do. It wasn't shifting around until I said that. So you guys think that like YouTube is full of shit. Wasn't shifting around at all. They're lying. So there you go, there's your proof. There's how you know they're full of shit. The very second I start talking about how kids need to have gun education in high school, we start shifting the bit rate around, and you're going to tell me it's not police doing it? You're going to tell me it's not YouTube doing it? Because I'm talking about gun education and my opinion on that? you guys, that's the point. Like, it wasn't shifting. Then the second I said anything about that, it starts shifting around. Yeah, it's YouTube. Like, how many times do I have to prove this? It wasn't. It literally wasn't at all until just now. I was summing up the stream. I was talking about everything that we were talking about. I was literally going through it in order. Oh, was that it? Was you were trying to prove that I can't remember anything? Is that it? Yeah, it's not the case. So that's fucking false. That's the point. Is like whatever you're trying to do to shift the bit rate around, you're not doing it. All I'm doing is proving that you're shifting the bit rate around conveniently right when I say these things or do these. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, again, it wasn't shifting around until I said that. So again, YouTube loves to do this. They love to shift your bitrate around and lie about it to de-escalate your stream. Because again, you're talking about guns, and shooting, and guns, and educating, making sure that guns are in our education, and that guns, are something that's taught, and so that way when people use guns, they have a proper education about it, and they don't feel all emotional and stuff like that around guns. Like, come on, man. We're gonna realize that that's what was shifting it around. Like, this is stupid. YouTube literally is full of fucking shit. I told you guys a million times, like I see this, like, day in, day out. You think I just make it up? No. Like, that's the point. That's why I wanted to show you. Like, as soon as I fucking said that, it was like, boom. So, again, Stalker sits and waits for me to say something that he wants to clip. He clips it. They shift the bitrate around. It's that simple. Why they're fucking doing it, why they shift the bitrate around just because somebody's doing that, I don't know. But again, it's the same fucking shit it's always been. Anyway, there's a lot we talked about. And, getting informed today. A lot going on. And, again, a lot of this is education. Being informed. Making sure people can inform themselves. That's all. And again, then we talked about them too, being more cultured, trying to watch more stuff that is more accepting of cultures and people and stuff. And honestly, truthfully, Star Trek The Next Generation does that, with all the different races and stuff they have, too. Vulcan. All that Klingon. Romulan. Ferengi. All that. Like, the point is, like, that's the point. You grow up getting used to that, seeing that, so it doesn't bother you when you see it, All these other people, they're super bothered by it because they didn't grow up watching other people talk about these things and a TV show, and so what? Like that's the point. Like we watched way worse than this on a TV. Like that's the point. Like we've been through this. We've seen scenarios play out. We know what the correct answer is. These people haven't seen this. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And so they just get irritated. Think it's abomination and stuff like that, or to do this or that. And really, it's just that person's choice. Anyway, thank you for paying attention and listening and trying to be informed. I appreciate it. And I'll always try to be real and be honest with you. Like I said the other day, I was complaining about a boss in Elden Ring, and I was wrong. I was wrong. The environment made it harder, and that was a good thing, actually. I was just complaining about it. And then I backpedaled later. I was like, yeah, I'll just stop kind of trying to do that for a little bit. So, yeah. Even I can do it. So that's the point. Like, just realize when you're full of shit or whatever, you know, and try to change that. Be informed. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm probably gonna get some food.